those lessons while I was winning, but unfortunately that's just not the way it is. But I look back at it now and just think about how grateful I am for all the lessons in wins and the losses, because it really ends up defining who you are as a person and as a player.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers, Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on the morning skate for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 to discuss the pressures of Game 7 after having played in 9 Game 7s himself, winning 7 of them, and how you can either thrive under pressure or crumble underneath it.
I must look at Game 7s, Mark, like I do overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs or overtime in any sporting event where you've got so much pressure on you and every play gets magnified. Could you, during the course of your career, and you don't have to name names, but could you look around the dressing room or could you look on the opposing bench and could you figure out those that wanted to be the hero and those that just wanted to avoid making the mistake? I mean, was that plain for you to see that there were those that wanted the puck on their stick with the game on the line that could thrive under pressure, and then you had the opposite as well?
I felt myself in those moments there defaulting to the more defensive side of the game. And then I played with my right winger, who I won 6 Stanley Cups with, Glenn Anderson. He was the kind of guy that was trying to, really drive hard offensively and take the game and try to score the winning goal. And we're on the same line. Maybe that the difference of us in our mentalities worked perfectly. But everybody's wired different. Everybody's got fear, failure. The best have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to internalize those feelings, but you can't let them paralyze you. And it's for me, going into a Game 7, I allowed myself to visualize what if we didn't win, leading up to the game, and then slowly as you get closer to the game, you allow yourself to kind of push the negative feelings aside, and you start to fill yourself up with all the great things that are going to happen and what you need to do to execute the game plan, and of course ultimately to seeing yourself holding the trophy. And then as the game starts, all the negative and the positive go away, and then you drill yourself down into, just executing the game plan. And you don't think about the what ifs and what should have been or what could have been. You just really kind of play in the moment. And I think trust becomes a massive word when you think about it. Can I trust each one of the players that are going out there to not only to do their part from a strategic standpoint, be in the right position, be in the right places at the right time, but not get undisciplined and take poor penalties at the wrong time because their ego is bruised and someone took advantage of them, then being able to hold all that in check. So there's just so many dynamics to think about for a team in order to overcome all the obstacles to win a championship. And it's fascinating to me. It's one of the reasons I was able to play 26 years, because once you do it, you understand how fun it is, but also how complicated and intricate it is to kind of get not only the team from a physical standpoint to come together, but how a team comes together emotionally, mentally, and the spirituality around a team, and the respect that lives inside that locker room is incredible.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929. Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926. Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929. Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926. Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio. SiriusXM 86.
Mark Messier is a 6-time Stanley Cup champion. He won 5 with the Edmonton Oilers and 1 with the New York Rangers, and is the only player to captain 2 teams to Stanley Cup championships. In Edmonton, after winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 1984 and 85, it wasn't until 1987 where the team would win their 3rd Stanley Cup championship. Speaking on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Messier joined Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on Sirius XM Channel 91 to talk about what it was like to win that 1987 Stanley Cup Finals series against the Philadelphia Flyers, despite blowing a 3-1 series lead and having to win it in a Game 7.
Mark, let's go back to the 1987 Canada, or not Canada Cup. That was still to come.
That was
but
a
the
good Canada Cup.
1987, that was a Game 7, but that was an all-decider as well, as we know.
But
for Game 7, Yeah, that was pretty good stuff. But 87 in the Stanley Cup final, you're facing Philadelphia. You're up 3-1 in the series. They come back to tie it. Now you've got Game 7. Take us back to your greatest remembrances of, again, almost letting the series slip away and then having that opportunity in Game 7 to come up big, which you guys clearly did.
Well, it just goes to show you that we felt back in 87, we were really at the peak of that team in some ways. Some people think 85 team was the best team ever. 87, I think, was probably the most talented team. I think 85 team had a better overall record. I think it was 16-1 or 16-2 in that playoff year, 87. We got tangled up against Philadelphia, but we felt we're a better team. But sports isn't about who's a better team. It's about it's about the belief system inside the dressing room. And Philadelphia wouldn't quit. Mike Keenan wouldn't allow the young Philadelphia team to quit. They were kind of banged up. They had some injuries, but they were able to extend the series after what we thought probably should have been maybe at least 4 or 5 game series. We lost, I think, the first game, if I remember correctly, and then came back and won 3 in a row, coming home to win the 5th game, only to realize that winning a championship, even after all the experience we had, is not that easy. And then going back to Philadelphia for Game 6, and they trounced us in Philly. Now we find ourselves in a Game 7. And then once you get to a Game 7, anything can happen. You can get a bad break, an unlucky bounce, as we've seen in the past, and so everything's at stake, everything's on the line, and I think luckily for us, we're able to, really kind of rely on our experiences that we had in the past. We felt incredibly confident that if we went out and played our best game, and Philadelphia went out and played their best game, our best was going to be good enough. But even with that, there was so much uncertainty, and sure enough, we were able to win our 3rd cup in 4 years, which was quite an incredible feat.
That was Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers, Mark Messier, on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin on Channel 91.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Former Colorado Avalanche chairman and CEO Charlie Lyons was on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 with Steve Kouleas to discuss what it was like successfully keeping Joe Sakic in Colorado in 1997 during a chaotic 7-day time frame.
That all this, Charlie, comes together in 7 days. Like this isn't one moving part. Like if we get the Fox deal done, it's done. If the movie does really well, we'll borrow from the future, even though that wasn't the best thing, as you alluded to, from the movie company. Or the mayor says, yeah, we're going to do that. Like they could have said, it's August. We'll talk after Labor Day. So what's incredible,
everybody knew,
right? That you got it done that quickly, which is it's hard to do one deal in 5 business days, let alone the 7 you dealt with.
You know, in the movie business, I make this point in the documentary. One of the things that keeps an audience engaged is if the clock is ticking. You know, find the person that's been kidnapped, disable the bomb, stop the terrorists, get to the stage on time so you can get up and do your stand-up comedy when the audience is waiting. The ticking clock makes people realize we don't have time to screw around. We got to fix this and do it right now. So that was, in many ways, as miserable it was for, and particularly with my team, because I had a great team, you know, but they did the heavy lifting because in essence, we had to do everything on handshakes. You're not going to get everything documented, but you're talking about the most honorable parties on earth, the mayor, Fox, Liberty Media. When they shake your hand, it's gold. And so we got it all done, and here we are.
What was it like this is 1997, so no e-transfers. What was it like to tell the Rangers, to quote a song, to take this and shove it? Who made the call and said, by the way, here's the check for Joe Sakic, bye-bye, NYC?
Well, Pierre went to Joe's house and delivered the money. I got up with Liberty and Fox and the mayor at City Hall, and we announced the arena deal, Fox and Liberty. And we were coordinated. It was choreographed. And then I was a speechwriter when I was a kid. And I had the blessing to do some work for the governor of New York when he was vice president, Nelson Rockefeller. And he had that famous picture where he was being heckled and he offered his opinion of that. And that picture of him flipping the bird was, I figured, a nice gift to send Dave Checketts, who was a good friend of mine, by the way.
I love it. I never knew that. I love it.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your...
The world's greatest fans. Rising stars.
This is Matt Barzell. This is Noah Dobson.
Thrilling moments.
Oh no! Big goal! Horvat wins it in overtime!
Get ready.
Another remarkable save! Ilya Sorokin!
New York Islanders hockey starts now.
Live from the Stan Fischler press level at UBS Arena, it's time once again for New York Islanders hockey. And tonight the New York Islanders take on the Florida Panthers in the third and final meeting this season. Well, hello again, everyone. This is Chris King, joined by Greg Picker and Corey Wright. We thank you so much for tuning in to Islanders hockey tonight around the world and making us a part of your Sunday evening entertainment. Well, Greg, the Islanders start tonight 6 points out of the final wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, currently held by the New York Rangers now. Islanders do have 2 games in hand on the Blue Shirts and 17 games remaining in the regular season. Islanders last played here Friday night, dropped a 2-1 overtime decision to the Edmonton Oilers as Leon Draisaitl won it in sudden death with his league-leading 49th goal of the year. But in that overtime, Adam Pelech blocked the shot with his right foot. He is out with a lower body injury, listed as day-to-day, but that does open the door for defenseman Mike Riley to return. And what a story Riley is playing here this evening.
Well, you go back November 1st, a game in Buffalo. He took a hard hit, was concussed, and in the recovery process, during the testing, it was discovered that he had a heart condition that was previously undiagnosed. So he had to go through a procedure in late November, has been in recovery ever since. When that occurred, Lou Lamoriello told us he does expect Mike back before the end of the season, and here we are in the middle of March, and Mike Riley returns to the lineup today. And again, if it wasn't for that concussion, then they might not have even been able to find that heart condition. So in a strange way, the concussion was the best thing for Mike, as he is back in the lineup tonight for the New York Islanders.
He will play for the first time in 4.5 months. So needless to say, lots of media attention this morning for the guy they call Riles, and he talked about his return this evening.
Yeah, obviously excited. It's been a long time, obviously. So a lot of work kind of put into it a little bit with the hope of coming back at some point this season. So obviously excited just to be back with the guys here and ready to go tonight.
Well, he talked about going on the recent California trip just to get in shape with the team.
Yeah, no, it was great when I got obviously cleared and full contact and everything, and then be able to travel with the guys and kind of get back to practicing with him and just kind of the day-to-day routine a little bit. That's something obviously I didn't get for a couple months there. So just to kind of get back into that rhythm of close to game shape as possible in terms of, like I said, getting back into that routine and practicing with the guys and, making sure I'm conditioned and my timing as best as I can have it.
That is defenseman Mike Riley, who was asked this morning when he actually found out that this evening would be his return to play.
This morning, yeah. I kind of figured it'd be somewhat soon. Just kind of didn't know when, and for me it was just being patient and trying to use my practice time like it's a game time. That's I know you get kind of this late in the season and practice is practice sometimes, but for me that's that's kind of like my game a little bit, especially the last 2 weeks since I've kind of been cleared here, and kind of use that time to even if it's minimal reps, it's still something for me. So I got to take advantage of that. So that's something for me to try to get my mind on the game as quick as possible.
Well, Riley was asked what was his teammates' reaction when they found out he would play tonight.
I feel like they almost didn't believe it for a second. I don't think there was a definitive date for sure. I think, like I said, about a week and a half ago. So it kind of just happened this morning, actually. And some guys didn't know until we got on the ice and whatnot. So I think some guys were laughing a little bit, just like, oh, I'm back. So obviously excited. And, although the past couple of months that, I haven't been here as much day to day and on the road and whatnot, but it's, especially the last two or so weeks, it's been just to be back with the guys. It's, it's special.
And again, that is defenseman Mike Riley playing tonight. He underwent heart surgery November 19th, so a little less than 4 months later, he's back on the ice. We'll take a break, and when we come back, the starting lineups and the drop of the puck for the Owls and Cats tonight from UBS Arena. It's next. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Acrisure underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
Proud to produce New York Islanders hockey. This is WRHU FM, Hempstead Radio Hofstra University.
McDonald's supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network. Find more information about the New York Islanders at NY Islanders across platforms X, Instagram, TikTok, and New York Islanders on Facebook.
When the Islanders are on the ice, we're on the air. The New York Islanders Radio Network.
That our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That is Marissa Ann Rizzatello with our national anthem tonight at UBS Arena before this tilt between the New York Islanders and the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Your referees are Brandon Schrader and Francis Sharon. On the lines, Johnny Murray and Devin Berg. The starting lineup first for the visiting Cats. In goal, it's Vitek Vanacek. On defense, Niko Mikkola and Dmitry Kulikov. The center is Nico Sturm. He's got A.J. Greer to his left and Jonah Gadjevich to his right. For the Islanders, Ilya Sorokin between the pipes. The deep pairing of Mike Riley. He returns after missing 4.5 months of action due to heart surgery, along with Scott Mayfield. And the center is Kyle McLean, Max Siplikov to his left, Mark Gatcomb to his right. Again, the third and final meeting of the year between these two teams. If it was a tennis match, I could tell you this way. Florida's won the first two sets 6-3, 6-3. That's right. They beat the Islanders 6-3 here October 26th and beat them 6-3 down in Sunrise, Florida on February the 2nd. So the Islanders trying to take the third and final meeting, and we go down to center ice. New York in the home blue. They are trimmed in orange and white. They go left to right this period. Ilya Sorokin in the crease to our left. Cats in the visiting white. They are trimmed in black and red. They go right to left with Vitek Vanacek in the goal to our right, playing just his second game for the Panthers. He came over just before the deadline in a trade with San Jose. So we are underway tonight on this Sunday evening, and the puck immediately out of play behind the Florida net, 15 seconds in.
And Vitek Vanacek yet to give up a goal as a member of the Florida Panthers, as he had a 21-save shutout in his only performance so far with the Cats. March 8th, so last Saturday against the Buffalo Sabres on home ice after he was acquired from the San Jose Sharks a week and a half ago.
He became the third goalie in franchise history to have a shutout in his debut, joining Chris Drieger and Jose Theodore, who actually did that at Nassau Coliseum with the Florida Panthers. So the Panthers send it in behind the Islander net. Ilya Sorokin tried to knock it down. It eluded him, went to the far side. Islanders again last played here Friday night, fell 2-1 to Edmonton in overtime on a goal by Leon Draisaitl, his league-leading 49th goal and his 100th point of the season. The Panthers were in Montreal last night, and they fell to the Canadiens 3-1. The Islanders are the rested team, Florida having played last night and traveled, gone through customs, the whole deal. So see if the Islanders can take advantages here. Florida guilty of icing 46 seconds in.
That's the case for the Islanders against the Oilers on Friday night. The difference being, though, a little bit easier to travel from Newark to Long Island, although actually I think the Oilers were staying in the city anyway, so a little bit easier to travel from Newark to the city to get back in bed rather than flying from Montreal down to this area where, again, the key is going through customs. And yes, these teams obviously have their own charters and whatnot, but still don't get into bed until wee hours of the morning.
Here, Islanders get it deep in the Florida zone, left wing corner. And again, Edmonton outshot the Islanders 17-6 in that first period Friday night. So they had the jump. Islanders certainly did, and that's something Patrick Waugh identified both yesterday and today as areas Islanders have to be better at, have to start better when they're the fresh team, and you can go in against the team that played last night. No score here, a little over a minute in. It's Horvat behind the Cats net. Bo again had the only Islander goal here Friday night. To Holmstrom in the right wing corner. Kicks it out to Pulock at right point. Shot blocked to Dobson at left point. And then he plays it down low for Horvat behind the net. Tried to center it. It went through Duclair and came right now to Anton Lundell, who skates it left wing over the red line and then chips it softly to the near corner and gives chase. Dobson beat him to it. Swings it up the near side for Duclair. Anthony pinned off on a hit there. So Islanders, Pulock jumps in, sends it left wing corner Florida zone. Rumbling in Captain Anders Lee, who comes in on 498 points. Again, trying to be the 13th player in franchise history to hit 500 points. He's got this game tonight. Islanders are in Pittsburgh Tuesday, and then a 4-game homestand. You know, he'd love to get it done here on home ice. No score, 2 minutes in. Here is Lee with a puck. Left wing over the checkered stripe. Sends Pajot through the right circle. In, shoots. Knocked down by Vanacek. He couldn't control the rebound, but Lostarinen got it to the far wall.
Good pass from Anders Lee as he had to slow down to collect the puck in front of his own bench. If that puck wasn't bouncing on him, he had a chance at a 2-on-1 rush with Pajot, but instead was able to recover that bouncing puck and send Pajot ahead. Not allow a break, but had some room down the right wing side to get the shot off. And Vanacek tries to catch it, goes in and out of his glove, and play continues.
So Sorokin kicks one out from Carter Verhaeghe. Islanders get the puck to center ice. D'Angelo winds it in around the roulette wheel, near side to far in the Florida end. Nico Mikkola moves it to the Islanders stripe, where it's grabbed far side Noah Dobson, near side to Ryan Pulock. He gets the red and again rims it around near side to far. Evan Rodriguez on that far side in Florida ice, trying to get it out of his own end. Good pressure, though, by the Islanders. He does jam it to center, and New York takes over there. 3 minutes in, no score. Each team credited with 1 shot on goal. Dobson wristed in deep. Vanacek cuts it off behind his net, plays it far side. The Panthers can't connect there with Reinhart. Dobson had a backhand go off Reinhart's shin pads, though, and back to Islander ice where Simon Holmstrom was covering. He comes near side, Scotty Mayfield, rink wide far side for Dobson, who I believe had that hit someone on the Florida bench. They let it go on here as the Panthers bring it in deep right wing corner Islander end.
Sorry, King, the linesman was there too, but I didn't think it hit the linesman.
No.
But he had such good view. He would have known that had hit something on the bench, so I'm shocked that wasn't whistled down.
Maybe the gate was just open slightly, Greg.
That still would be considered out of play.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. So strange that it goes on, as Florida still has it in Islander ice. No score coming up on 4 minutes in. Kyle Palmieri starting south of his goal line. Drops it off far corner for Mayfield. Scotty took a hit and a good one as he went down hard on that bang by Gadjevich. But now the Islanders, Palmieri skates it right wing over the Florida line. Winds up with a slapper. And he put it over the crossbar. Held in by Sitlikov on the left half boards in Florida ice. Tried to go cross ice, turned it over to Boquist. And now Florida settles it down in the neutral zone, and Lundell will wrist it in deep.
We'll see if they had a shot on goal. I thought that Vanacek may have gotten a little bit of a shoulder on that drive from Palmieri that ends up going over the net.
And Islanders come in winless in the last 3 at 0-2-1, and the problem's been lack of goal scoring. They've only scored 1 goal in each of those 3 losses. The first time all year they've been held to 3 goals or less in any 3-game span. Florida Panthers start from behind their own net. Balinskis up the far side. Had it taken away. He goes back to chase it in that same left wing corner, but gets double teamed. Sitlikov and Gatcomb did jab it behind his net. And now Florida's Lundell up the boards to Jesper Boquist. Again, the older brother of the Islanders, Adam Boquist, who unfortunately is out injured, Greg. They played together to start the season with Florida, and I'm sure they would have loved to play against each other here this evening.
It was, the second game for Adam as an Islander to go up against the Panthers earlier this season after he was claimed off waivers.
Pajot holds it in behind the Florida net, had his pocket picked, though, and away come the Panthers in transition. Good forecheck, though, by Anthony Duclair. Knocked it away and forced an errant pass by Mikkola that ends up behind the Islander net. D'Angelo and Romanov there, picked up by Bennett in the right wing corner, centered it for Verhaeghe. Couldn't get the shot off in the slot. Islanders 3-on-2 the other way. Lee, right wing over the Florida line. The captain one-handed toward the net, broken up by the Panthers, but right back to Lee, to Pajot, right down a bouncing puck, and he couldn't get a shot off. Held in by Duclair, taken down right corner. D'Angelo fires right point, it missed wide left. Dobson the hold left point. Left wing corner for Anders Lee. The captain trying to get away from Sam Bennett here. Shields it on the backhand all the way out to the blue line. Spins forehand and plays it to the half boards. Islanders find an open Pulock, top of the right circle. Straight on now for Dobson, same spot. Noah to the net. Stopped by Vanacek, loose at the top of the paint. Islanders whacking away at it, but the Panthers able to lift it high in the air to center. Good work for Verhaeghe.
I think one of those saves that Vanacek had to make was his own forward, Sam Bennett, trying to put it in the vicinity for Vanacek to grab a hold of that puck. But the flurry continued, and we play on. Islanders with another opportunity here in the offensive zone as they regroup quickly.
It's Engvall coming off a strong game here Friday for New York. Down the right wing wall for a pinching Pulock as the Sunday night crowd chants, "Let's go Islanders." Panthers send it all the way down. Linesman indicated it was deflected, so no icing. And here is Mike Riley again in his return to action. First game since November 1st in Buffalo when he took a big hit, suffered a concussion, and testing for that concussion revealed that he had a heart problem. He had heart surgery on November the 19th, and here he is back in action tonight. Mike Riley after missing 54 games and 4.5 months of action. What a story, Greg, that he's even out there. So it's Barkov in the left wing corner of Islander ice. No score, 7 minutes in. He goes to the blue line for Schmidt's shot. I don't think Sorokin ever saw it.
He didn't react until it hit the glass behind him.
Yep, over the crossbar and off the back glass. And now Schmidt gave it up at the Islander blue line. Could have turned into a breakaway there for Horvat, but good recovery by Florida as they strip him in the neutral zone and send it right back in.
Malinskas had to go for a full reach with one hand on his stick to slow down that puck and prevent the all-out break for Horvat. We're 6.5 minutes since we've had our last whistle.
Here's Holmstrom, elevated to the top line tonight. Works it to Mayfield, top of the right circle. Scotty down deep. Along the goal line now, he's so low. Behind the net for Horvat. Top of the left circle, Romanov goes top of the right for Mayfield. Back skates to the blue line. Now to Holmstrom covering at left point for Romanov. Homer there trying to get away from a check. Skates across the tops of the circles. Leaves for Horvat. Now left circle, Mayfield shot blocked in front. Scotty, the defenseman in the left wing corner of the Florida end. Now left out for Holmstrom. Fires! And he put it over the crossbar and wide right on an open look. Islanders get a right point shot from Romanov as he and Mayfield switch spots right now on the blue line. All Islanders here. No score, 8 minutes in. They get that soccer-style chanting go. And the Panthers send it all the way down. Nico Sturm behind the Islander net. He too just came over in a deadline deal with San Jose. Heads for a change, and the Panthers start their play below the Islander goal line near side. Romanov, I believe he took a high stick, and he is down on his knees and in pain. So his helmet has come off. The initial indication is high sticking. And now when we see his face, Greg, we'll determine if there's any blood. If so, it could be a double minor.
I mean, just based on the fact that he's still on the ice, I'd be shocked if there is not anything. And this is not just a single minor, but the Islanders going to the first power play of the game. The referee will inspect, and then he'll give us the word before we go to break as to whether or not it's a 2-minute minor or a 4-minute double minor. And now we will get our word from the officials down on the ice. Here is Brandon Schrader.
Florida double minor penalty for high sticking. This will be under review.
So double minor for now, under review. We'll sort it out when we come back. Islanders to the power play, scoreless game, 11:44 to go in the first. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Enterprise underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
Get closer to the pride when you step inside WRHU's The Locker Room. Whether it's at Captain's Field,
this is Jacob Woznicki.
This is Millie Davis.
Or the MAC.
This is Emma Von Essen.
This is Speedy Claxton.
Or Stewart Stadium.
Hi, this is Lulu Cardella.
Hi, this is head coach Seth Tierney.
Listen for in-depth analysis of all your favorite Hofstra Pride players and teams.
History in Hempstead! The Hofstra Pride are kings of the Coastal Athletic Association!
Fridays from 5 to 6, only on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
This is Bo Horvat, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, again, Mike Riley has not played a game in the NHL in 4.5 months, having a concussion directly into heart surgery. This morning, he was asked what he expects from himself this evening.
I think just keep it simple a little bit for sure, and I think my feet is maybe my best asset. So I think if I can kind of use my legs a little bit in all three zones a little bit, be aggressive, and whether it's closing on guys or jumping into the rush, I think it's if I can just kind of focus on that, just kind of the basics a little bit, I think that'll just kind of help the rest of my game. But just try to move the puck quick and definitely use my feet.
That is Mike Riley. So again, as we went to break, it was originally called a high sticking minor on Eetu Luostarinen. They do get it right that it was his elbow that actually went to the head of Alex Romanov, and so the Islanders to the power play here. Only a 2-minute version, though, so 2 minutes for elbowing at 8:16, and it's time for New York Lottery power play as the Islanders and Cats are scoreless here. 11:44 to go in the first period. Face-off in the New York end, left circle to the right of Vitek Vanacek. We do have a delay here. Early shots favoring the Islanders 4-0. So Florida has not had a single shot on goal in 8 minutes and 16 seconds of action. Islander power play still last in the league at 11.7%. Florida on the kill, 11th best at 80.9%. But New York's power play 0 for 14 now in the last 3 games.
And 4 for 38 in the last 13, with all 4 of those goals coming in a 4-game segment. So, good start to the game for the Islanders. No shots on goal allowed. They actually had one on the board for the Panthers, have taken it off. And what a difference compared to Friday night, where the Oilers had 17 first-period shots.
So again, the Islanders' power play in the season series, pair of 6-3 losses to Florida, 1 for 6, as J.G. Pajot had the power play goal down in Sunrise, Florida. They also surrendered a shorthanded goal against, technically, as Gus Forsling had a shorthanded empty net goal here. Again, both previous games, 6-3 losses by the Islanders to Florida. New York wins the faceoff, left circle in the Cats' end, and they go to work on the power play. D'Angelo, top of the left circle, to Palmieri, bottom of it. Try to cross-crease feed for Holmstrom, broken up, but the Islanders get it back. Dobson to D'Angelo above the left circle, left of the net, Palmieri. Bumper for Horvat, and his one-timer, a good glove save. Getting the cheater portion on it was Vanacek on the exact setup the Islanders were looking for. New York turns it over, though, and sent all the way down by Anton Lundell.
I mean, that's the type of play you want on a power play. Point-blank chance in the bumper spot. Just a better save from Vanacek.
So still no score. 11-11 to go in the first. Islanders 30 seconds into their first man advantage. Holmstrom to the left wing corner of Florida ice. Try to go back to the blue line, broken up by the Panthers. Seth Jones to the near side, and then cleared all the way down. Again, the Panthers get Seth Jones in a huge deal before the deadline from the Chicago Blackhawks. They paid a big price, though, giving up young goaltender Spencer Knight and the first-round pick.
And Knight going to the Blackhawks is why they had to go out 3 days later and acquire Vanacek from San Jose.
So they have shored up that backup goaltending position for Sergei Bobrovsky, who played last night in Montreal in the 3-1 loss to the Canadiens. Panthers here send it in deep behind the Islander net. Lundell giving chase, and Noah Dobson and he lock up. Lundell comes up with it. Lundell trying to center it here. Kicked it out to Mikkola at left point. Takes the shot. A stick save Sorokin. Again, Islanders have the extra man out there, but right now it doesn't look like that. With just 30 seconds to go in the power play. Finally, New York in control. Second unit out there for Waugh. Pajot through the right circle. Top of the left for Lee. The captain dropped it back, but missed his target. That was Noah Dobson, or check it, Ryan Pulock. And now Mike Riley, quarterbacking on the second unit, starts from behind his net.
You may have heard a tap on the ice of a stick. That was Anthony Duclair. Looked like he was about to get behind the D, and I was shocked that J.G. Pajot didn't try. It would have been a somewhat low percentage play, but if it gets there, it is Duclair all by himself on Vanacek. Instead, Pajot went back into the neutral zone. Doesn't work out.
Well, out of the box is Lostarinen. Islanders 0 for 1 on the power play. We return to 5-a-side hockey in a scoreless game just past the midpoint of the first. Panthers in their own end trying to get it out. Can't. Good work. Hudson Fasching. Left half boards. Carries to the goal line. Hudson controls there. Now trying to drive to the net, but finally broken up. And Samaskevich will go the other way. Right wing out of his own end. Stick handles to the red line and wrists it in. Cut off by Sorokin behind his net. Ilya will play it far side. Tried to get it out with the help of Fasching, but held in by Sam Bennett, right wing corner. Dropped it off there. Panthers try to center it for Reinhart. Stolen by Cizikas, 3-on-2 in transition. To Fasching, left side over the Florida line. Drops for Romanov at left point. Good to see Romy's all right. Down the middle for Pulock. Top of the right circle, Engvall shoots. Vanacek the pad save. Big rebound, but grabbed by Florida. Here comes Barkov, 2-on-1 with Verhaeghe through the left circle. Trying to go back in front for Barkov. Great defensive play by Alex Romanov, who knocked him off the puck and disturbed the pass.
But Romanov lost his stick and now has to defend without, although he gets one from Pierre Engvall.
Here, Forsling a drive, top of the left circle, blocked out high, came back to Gus Forsling. This time he goes cross-ice, right point for Jones, walks it into the net, and he missed it wide left. Might have been looking for a stick on the doorstep. Islanders send away Horvat here, through the right circle, one-on-one with Jones. Bo shoots, good save, Vanacek, and they'll hold from the exact spot Horvat scored a goal here from, Greg, on Friday night. We'll take a timeout. No score on the island. 8:26 to play in the first. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
This live game broadcast of New York Islanders hockey is produced and distributed by WRHU Radio, Hofstra University.
This broadcast of New York Islanders hockey on WRHU is underwritten in part by UBS Arena. More information about UBS Arena is available at NewYorkIslanders.com/Belmont.
This is Adam Pella. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, defenseman Mike Riley back in the lineup tonight. He has missed 54 games and hasn't played in 4.5 months due to heart surgery that was discovered during concussion testing. This morning, head coach Patrick Roy was asked what he expects from Riley this evening.
I think I want him to keep things simple at the start, not try to do too much. I mean, and he's a good puck mover. He skates well with the puck, so these are the things I want to see him to do. Obviously, I mean, it's been a while, so might be a little rusty at the start, but I mean, sometimes if you keep things simple and you're excited about playing, I mean, makes up for it.
That is Patrick Roy on Mike Riley. Technically, Greg, a former Florida Panther. He played 2 games there last year before the Islanders grabbed him on waivers.
Back-to-back years, the Islanders have grabbed a blue liner off waivers from the Florida Panthers, as it was Adam Boquist this year when the Islanders were going through an injury crisis, you could even call it, on the blue line. Just like last year, it was a game in early November or mid-November where both Adam Pelech and Sebastian Aho were lost in a contest, and then the next day, Mike Riley was available on waivers, and there was no way Lou Lamoriello was going to let him get through unclaimed.
And we get a puck out of play here, and what a job Riley did last year, Greg. 6 goals, 18 assists, 24 points in just 59 games with the Islanders. This year, didn't have any points in his first 11 games before suffering that concussion on the hit by Jordan Greenway November 1st in Buffalo.
He's one of 11 defensemen on the Islanders this season who have played at least 10 games. That's the most in a single season for the Islanders since 2010-11 when they had 12. And Scott Perunovich sitting at 9 games played right now for the Islanders this season. So he gets in one more. It'll be a dozen defensemen this year playing at least 10 games.
And not a good thing at all when you have that many injuries to the blue line. Islanders out shooting Florida here 7-1 to begin this game. No score, 8 minutes remaining in the first. Islanders trying to get it out of their own end. Mark Gatcomb turns it over. A.J. Greer behind the Islander net for Mike Riley, who leaves it there for Scotty Mayfield. Greer throws a hip into him, takes him down, but he got it to Gatcomb, and now out to center to Kyle McLean. To Siplikov over the Florida line. To McLean through the left circle. Takes the shot. Nice glove save. Vitek Vanacek, and then Siplikov mixing it up after the whistle. Still no score. 7:41 remaining in period 1.
Impressive. The Islanders even got a good-looking shot off there because Siplikov and Riley were in such tight quarters while trying to stick handle with Siplikov that he fumbles the puck. But fortunately for him, McLean was a few feet behind, able to collect that bouncing puck, get a good-looking shot off, targeted upstairs glove side, but Vanacek able to make his 8th save of the game as he holds on to that one.
Max Siplikov is actually tied for the Islanders' leading scorer in the season series against the Florida Panthers. In the previous 2 games, he has 3 assists for 3 points. The other guy, Dennis Cholowski, a goal and 2 assists, 3 points. He, of course, was traded to the Devils at the deadline. So those have been the guys who've done the scoring for the Islanders, but again, Florida has outscored the Islanders in each of the first 2 games, 6-3. First game was against Semyon Varlamov. The second game was against Jakub Škarek in his NHL debut. And for the Islanders, they saw Spencer Knight in the first 2 games of the season series for Florida. Again, he is now a Chicago Blackhawk, and Greg told you, Vitek Vanacek replacing him as the backup to Sergei Bobrovsky. And Vanacek tonight just his 2nd game for Florida.
And you may have heard from Corey Wright in the pregame show, Vanacek in his last 3 games against the Islanders, all as a member of the Devils, pulled in 2 of them and lost all 3.
We're hoping that trend continues as the puck out of play here near Thomas Hickey between the benches. And it's interesting, Greg, you talked about it. Vanacek, a shutout in his Florida debut. That was March 8th against Buffalo in a 4-0 win. He had not had any shutouts the previous 2 seasons that combined for 50 games with the Devils and the Sharks. So again, this year only with San Jose. The year before with New Jersey, he had played 50 total games, had no shutouts. So suddenly he goes to the defending Stanley Cup champions, coming from the worst team in the National Hockey League in San Jose, and tosses a shutout in game number 1.
So guy was a 2nd-round pick of the Washington Capitals back in 2014. That was the same draft that the Islanders got Ilya Sorokin in the 3rd round, and the Rangers picked up Igor Shesterkin in the 4th round.
So for Vanacek, 2 years with the Caps, 2 years with the Devils, this year with San Jose, until that trade a couple of days before the deadline. Islanders and Cats are scoreless here with 6:20 to go in the opening period, and now we get another puck out of play. I think Sergei Bobrovsky, wearing the baseball cap, had that one glance off his glove. And of course, Greg, they are the defending Stanley Cup champions, but they're dealing with a lot right now too. Matthew Tkachuk hasn't played since getting banged up in the Four Nations face-off tourney. They made a huge trade for Brad Marchand, but he is yet to play due to an upper body injury. And Aaron Ekblad, their all-star defenseman, is serving a 20-game suspension now for violating the NHL's PED policy, the performance-enhancing drugs. And again, he has owned up to it, Greg, as Florida's guilty of icing. He said, look, I was trying to get better. I took something I didn't check out. It showed up on a drug test, and they will be without him for 20 games.
It's only 18 remaining in the regular season when that suspension kicked in, so that means he's not eligible to return until the third game of the playoffs.
Yep.
And the Panthers trying to hold on to the top spot in the Atlantic Division. Doesn't look like they're going to have the top spot in the East because the Washington Capitals are 11 points clear of the Panthers. But the Cats have a 4-point gap on the Lightning and the Maple Leafs, who it looked like were destined to at least get home ice for sure, Toronto, but the Bolts have caught fire and chance for the Islanders.
Here's Engvall through the left circle, in with a look, and he missed the net. Vanacek spinning around after he was way out of his crease to cut down the angle.
What a pass from Ryan Puck, though. He's at his own defensive blue line, finds Engvall offensive blue line, and got a quick burst to accelerate behind the Panthers' defense. Was in alone, not a break or anything like that, so he didn't have a ton of options. Takes the shot, left-handed shot from the left side, and misses the net.
Here's Dobson joining the rush, 3-on-2 down the middle over the Florida line. Left circle for Fasching. Hudson a little chip pass off the end boards to himself. Then he tried to chip it over the blocker of Vanacek, who sealed off the near post. Back at center, here's Hudson Fasching backing up into his own end to Mayfield. Quick up for Siplikov, who backhands it right wing corner. Florida's zone gives chase. Beaten to it, though, by Nate Schmidt. He locks up leg on leg with him there, so they go to Mayfield at right point. Top of the right circle, Gatcomb leaves it for a spinning Siplikov. Shooting with a big screen in front set by McLean, but it wouldn't go. Kyle center point for Mayfield's try. Good left pad save. Vanacek down in the butterfly. Rebound of Siplikov, top of the right circle. Works that scissor play down the wall with Mayfield. Then drops it for Scotty at right point. Shoots from there, wide right. Grabbed by McLean. Right dot, great shift for the fourth line to Mayfield. Bottom of the right circle, sharp angle try. Vanacek sealing off the near post, made the save. All Islanders here, still no score. Under 5 minutes to go in the first before Florida finally gets it out to neutral ice.
5 minutes to go in the first. Panthers only have one shot on goal, and that game's shorthanded, so there's only been one penalty in this game. 2 minutes against Florida, so we played 12 and a half, 13 minutes of even strength time. The Panthers don't have a single shot on goal at 5-on-5.
Unbelievable. So again, Florida coming in has lost 2 of the last 3, but they're also 7-2 in their last 9 games. Here's Horvat left wing over the Florida line. Down the middle for D'Angelo, the defenseman charging the middle lane, but Mikula broke it up. Boquist sends it all the way down from his own side of center, and that is icing against the Cats. Shots right now unofficially 10-1 in favor of the Islanders, but the game is scoreless with 4:06 remaining in period number 1.
We told you Vanacek the shutout in his only game so far as a Panther, but overall this season, 4-10-3 with a 3.66 goals against average and an 8.86 save percentage. But 18 of those 19 games coming with the San Jose Sharks, who do not quite have the defense of most teams in the National Hockey League.
Can you imagine if you're Vitek Vanacek, Greg, you go from the worst team in the NHL to the defending Stanley Cup champions, and then you begin with a shutout in your very first game for Florida. So again, the 29-year-old Czech has got to be riding high right now. Here, Panthers got it to the net. Boquist with an open look, but he backhanded it wide left.
Yeah, I don't even think that'll count as a shot on goal, even though Ilya Sorokin was tested for a moment. But you could say Vitek Vanacek, the biggest winner of the Seth Jones, Spencer Knight trade.
Absolutely. So again, he gets the chance to play here. The Cats add Seth Jones, an unbelievable great defenseman on the blue line, and also picked up Nico Sturm from the Sharks, so he'll anchor their fourth line as the pivot there. No score in this one, 3.5 minutes to go in the first, dominated by New York. Pajot, 3-on-2 through center again. Tried to play give and go with Romanov down the middle, but the return pass broken up. Verhaeghe gets the red left side, sends it in deep. Sorokin stops it behind his net, plays it far side for Ryan Pulock as the crowd gets the Let's Go Islander chant going once again. Sam Bennett has it right half boards and Islander ice, kicks it out to Mikula above the left circle, shoots, and that's wide left. To Bennett on the right half boards, between the legs to Verhaeghe. Right point Kulikov is going to spin down the wall against Anders Lee, then go right point for the shot that's wide of the net from the man covering for him there, and that was Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe has it again, top of the left circle to the net, broken up by the Islanders. Verhaeghe knocked it down, left corner on the goal line, put it toward the net, broken up in front neatly by the Islanders, and now New York comes away through center. Anthony Duclair taken down, and that's going to be a penalty. Kulikov's the one down hurt as the Islanders get a shot off. Vanacek to save. Sorokin to the New York bench, and when Mikkola touches up. Even though Kulikov is the guy heading off, holding his arm, I believe he's guilty of the infraction of taking down Duclair at center ice. So the referee's trying to sort this one out, all with 2:34 to go in a scoreless first. And now after they talk to each other, they'll tell us what the situation is.
Florida, number 7, has a 2-minute minor for holding. This will be served by another player.
All right, so again, Kulikov off, another player will serve, but back with an Islander power play. Scoreless game, 2:34 to play in period 1 on Hempstead Turnpike here this evening. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
McDonald's supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
Proud to produce New York Islanders hockey. This is WRHU-FM, Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
Wake up your mind. Start your day with Hofstra's Morning Wake Up Call. Weekday mornings, 7 till 9 a.m. Lively talk about Long Island life, national news, and international issues from the minds and mouths of Hofstra students.
This is Noah Dobson, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, prior to his trade to Colorado, Brock Nelson was wearing the A on his shoulder as an alternate captain for the Islanders. Since he's left, they're going with Ryan Pulock to wear it on the road and Kyle Palmieri, the A, here at home. Noah Dobson was asked about those selections.
Yeah, both are great guys in the room, on and off the ice, and obviously Palms has been a leader in other places he's been, and Ryan's been here for a long time. Been with the organization since day one, and a lot of experience, just calm demeanor, great guy in the room, so I'm happy for those guys, definitely deserving.
That is Noah Dobson, and it's time for yet another New York Lottery Power Play.
Kyle Palmieri did wear an A towards the end of his tenure in New Jersey, came over at the deadline in the spring of 2021. Islanders, their second power play of the game, 0 for 1, had one shot on goal on their first advantage, but also gave up a shorthanded chance, the only shot the Panthers have had through 17 and a half minutes of this game.
It's incredible. 11-1 are the shots Islanders, but no score on the big board as Florida wins the faceoff, sends it all the way down. So Islanders limited to just that one shot on goal on the first power play. Noah Dobson lugs the puck through center and then connects with Tony DeAngelo, right wing over the red over the Florida blue. He plays give and go with Palmieri, then banks it off the end boards to find the open man at left point. That's Simon Holmstrom. Skates to the goal line, backs it out to the blue line, but out of the reach of Kyle Palmieri, and Noah Dobson has to retreat to his own end to restart on this power play breakout. Tony DeAngelo in front of the Islander bench, left wing over the red, now passes down the wall to Horvat, chips it off the end boards for Palmieri on the right half boards. He immediately is hit by Forsling, but got it to Dobson center point, to DeAngelo left point, top of the right circle, Holmstrom, a hot pass he couldn't catch. Florida's Gadjevich lost it though, Islanders hold it in, Dobson at right point to Horvat, top of the right circle, loads the gun, shoots, and he missed it wide left with such force, it carried off the end boards behind the Florida net all the way to Islander ice. Quick up, though, to Palmieri, right wing over the Florida stripe on the half wall. Connects now with Horvat. Double teamed is Bo, trying to keep possession. Down Dobson, center point. Left circle, DeAngelo. Back through the slot, but deflected off a Florida stick and into the netting in the right wing corner. So still no score in our game. A minute 19 to play in the first period. 45 seconds remaining in New York's second power play.
No shots on goal for the first minute 15 of this advantage. The one real look the Islanders had was Bo Horvat, top of the right circle, and he was surprised that nobody was closing down on him, so he just took a couple of strides towards the net, got a hard release off, but didn't hit the upper corner blocker side that he was hoping for, and as a result, the Panthers were able to get a clear directly off of that.
Islanders win the faceoff. Mike Riley from center point to Pajot, left to the net, but he missed it wide right on the backhand. Held in by New York. Pulock, left half board, settles it down, whiffed on a pass, and then turned it over, rushing that second pass to Barkov, who skates it with Reinhart 2-on-2 through center in the final minute of the period, 20 to go in the Islander man advantage. Reinhart's going to back it up to the neutral zone to Seth Jones, and now Florida just playing keep away, trying to take this Islander power play to 0-0 on the clock. They dump it in with 12 seconds remaining on the man advantage. So Mike Riley revs it up here out of his own end to Fasching, right wing over the red. Hudson doesn't get much power play time. It's only a handful of seconds, but I'm sure he's relishing it here. As Fasching, right wing corner, has the puck in the Florida zone. Out of the box is Rodriguez. Islanders 0 for 2 on their power play. No score in the game. 30 seconds to play in the first. Islanders still with it in Florida ice. Fasching trying to find Pajot, right dot, broken up by Forsling, and he softly sends it all the way down to avoid an icing. So Tony DeAngelo starts from behind his own net. 15 seconds to go in the period. Stretch pass, but he turned it over at center to Forsling. To Verhaeghe, right wing over the Islander line. His shot deflected wide on the stick by Romanov. Well placed, but then it's picked back up in the right wing corner of Islander ice by Boquist. Got some help from Verhaeghe. Right point Forsling shot missed the net. And the horn sounds, ending period 1 with no score here at UBS Arena between the New York Islanders and the Florida Panthers. And Greg, at least unofficially, it looks like the final shots will be 12-1 in favor of New York.
We played 16 minutes of that period at 5-on-5, and the Islanders outshot the Panthers 11-0 in those 16 minutes at full strength. So nothing to show for it, though, on the big board because Vitek Vanacek stopped all 12 shots he saw in that period. The Islanders go 0 for 2 on the man advantage.
So again, terrific first period for the Islanders. They did everything except score. And we head downstairs where D-man Tony DeAngelo is standing by. And Tony, your thoughts on, again, a dominant first period every place but the scoreboard.
Yeah, they played last night. You could tell a little bit. But they're a smart team. Obviously, you guys know what kind of team they are. So we're playing well, but we got to keep getting in the net and keep working it around because they're going to make a push at some point.
Well, what have you done so well in the defensive zone to not allow anything towards Ilya Sorokin?
Yeah, we're breaking out well, so we're spending less time in. So obviously we could stop the rush and not let up anything there, and break out well. It's gonna cause us to give away less shots and make life easier on Rooks.
What does it do for you guys to see Mike Riley return 4.5 months following heart surgery now?
Yeah, it's great. He's a great guy too, and a really good player for us. So it's nice to have him back in the locker room. Nice to see the big smile in there, and it's good, just good to have him back.
All right, Tony, thanks for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
Again, that is Islander defenseman Tony DeAngelo. New York and Florida scoreless tonight after 1 on the island. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we come back, Greg and Corey, the Talkin' Owls podcast guys, they'll break down the opening 20 minutes. It's next. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Coyote Promotions supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.
The Islanders Children's Foundation is dedicated to supporting the youth of local communities. Islanders Children's Foundation helps children in the community with health, education, and youth hockey development. The foundation raises awareness for causes close to the hearts of the community and supports the Islanders' overall mission while supporting some of the NHL's core initiatives. The Islanders Children's Foundation has many fundraising events and programs throughout the season, including the annual golf outing, one of the foundation's premier fundraising events, specialty-themed jersey auctions, game night fundraising, and silent auction, plus holiday and cause-related fundraisers. The Islanders believe in supporting our youth to help ensure a successful future. We see the hardships that surround many families. These families deserve the support from everyone in the community. The Islanders take pride in being a leader and helping those through these tough circumstances. More information about the Islanders Children's Foundation can be found at NewYorkIslanders.com.
This is WRHU FM Hempstead, the radio home for your New York Islanders, Radio Hofstra University, WRHU Hempstead.
McDonald's supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network. Find more information about the New York Islanders at NY Islanders across platforms X, Instagram, TikTok, and New York Islanders on Facebook.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
Get closer to the pride. when you step inside WRHU's The Locker Room. Whether it's at Captain's Field,
this is Jacob Woznicki.
This is Millie Davis.
Or the MAC.
This is Emma Von Essen.
This is Speedy Claxton.
Or Stewart Stadium.
Hi, this is Lulu Cardello.
Hi, this is head coach Seth Tierney.
Listen for in-depth analysis of all your favorite Hofstra Pride players and teams.
History in Hempstead! The Hofstra Pride are kings of the Coastal Athletic Association!
Fridays from 5 to 6, only on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
This is Ryan Pollock. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And we welcome you back to the Stan Fischler press level at UBS Arena. Greg Picker here alongside Corey Wright, and after one period of play, New York Islanders, Florida Panthers, no goals in this one, 0-0 the score, but the shot disparity heavily in favor of the New York Islanders.
And the Islanders out shooting the Florida Panthers 12-1 right now, so some good defensive work from the Islanders to limit the opportunities by the Florida Panthers to virtually nothing. Right, if you look at it, Greg, even our friends at Natural Stat Trick have the Islanders at 11 scoring chances in that period, 4 high danger chances compared to nothing on either side from the Florida Panthers. So some good work. As Tony D'Angelo said, they can sense that the Florida Panthers played and traveled last night. Had to travel maybe a little bit further than the Edmonton Oilers did when they played the second half of their back-to-back, and they certainly took advantage of it in most ways, but have yet to beat Vitek Vanacek, so not out of the woods yet, far from it.
Well, the one thing that the Islanders did not really take advantage of were 2 power plays. Etu Loic-Starina guilty of elbowing Alex Romanov, and then Dmitry Kulikov holds Anthony Duclair. Kulikov actually injures himself while going for that hold of Duclair, so he couldn't even serve that penalty.
I mean, that's one area the Islanders have certainly needed to clean up of late, has been the power play, has struggled certainly. You know, we talked about going into that game against the Oilers, they were 4 for 35 over that span heading in, so certainly not what you want to see you just want to see maybe a little bit more, right? We talk about simplifying things, getting pucks towards the net, only 1 shot on goal over those 2 opportunities. Certainly want to see more pucks at the net with the man advantage.
So it is 0-0 our score after 1 period of play from UBS Arena. Coming up just a minute away, take a look back to 9 years ago when the Islanders and the Panthers met up in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs in a feature we call Cats Declawed. You're listening to New York Islanders Hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Coyote Promotions supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.
Proud to produce New York Islanders hockey. This is WRHU-FM, Hempstead, Radio Hofstra University.
This broadcast of New York Islanders hockey on WRHU is underwritten in part by UBS Arena. More information about UBS Arena is available at newyorkislanders.com/Belmont.
Wake up your mind. Start your day with Hofstra's Morning Wake Up Call. Weekday mornings, 7 till 9 a.m. Lively talk about Long Island life, national news, and international issues from the minds and mouths of Hofstra students.
This is Kyle Palmieri, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And this is Chris King, joined by Greg Picker and Corey Wright, back to UBS Arena. No score between the New York Islanders and the Florida Panthers at the first intermission. Well, can you believe it? It's been 9 years now since the Islanders and Florida Panthers hooked up in that classic first-round playoff series of 2016. Of course, the Islanders were victorious. Our Giuseppe Oliveri takes a closer look in a feature he calls Cats Declawed.
Following the 1993 playoffs, the Islanders wouldn't see another series win until 2016, where they met the Florida Panthers in round 1. The first game of the series took place in the Sunshine State. After a back-and-forth bout, the Isles got the better of the Cats in a high-scoring affair.
And the New York Islanders come into South Florida and take Game 1 from the Panthers. 5-4 is your final. They are out to mob Thomas Greiss.
New York dropped Game 2, and the series would head to Brooklyn, as the Isles were playing in the Barclays Center that season. The third contest would go to overtime, and the Islanders would regain the series lead.
Nelson in the slot for Hickey, shoots and scores! Tommy
Elias Hickey has won it in overtime for the New York Islanders. They win it 4-3, and it's Bedlam in Brooklyn.
Game 4 saw the Panthers tie the series 2 wins aside, and in Game 5 back in South Florida, it took 2 overtimes to decide a winner.
DeQuine, right circle, shoots, and scores! Alan Quine has won it for the Islanders in double overtime!
The series came back to Brooklyn, with the Islanders up 3-2. These teams would go to double overtime once again. The Panthers fighting for their season, and the Islanders looking to break a curse. And for the first time in 23 years, playoff magic struck Isles Nation.
Tavares, right circle, walks in, shoots Luongo the save, rebound, Tavares throws it in, and scores! John Tavares has won it in overtime! And yes! The Islanders have their first playoff series win in 23 years!
It's already been almost 9 years since the Islanders conquered their playoff demons. But this moment will forever be engraved in the hearts and minds of those who bleed blue and orange. For the Islanders Radio Network, I'm Giuseppe Oliveri.
Oh, what a wonderful trip down memory lane, and a terrific job on that feature from our Giuseppe Oliveri. Well, tonight at UBS Arena, no score between the Isles and Panthers after one period of play. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we return, we'll bring you an in-game sports update with all the out-of-town scores. We'll check in with defenseman Mike Riley from outside the Islanders' locker room. We'll play Riddle the Radio, recap the first, and start the second. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
This is the New York Islanders Intermission Report.
Live from our WRHU Hockey Studios, I'm Zach Whiter. Tonight's slate features 6 other games around the league. Let's waste no time and get right into the action. Starting in Detroit, the Red Wings blew past the Golden Knights 3-0. Rookie defenseman Albert Johansson opened the contest by scoring his second career goal.
Tarasenko and Johansson the move, and he scores! Just his second NHL goal, and it's a beauty for Albert Johansson.
Sound courtesy of TNT. Detroit now holds 70 points and is 2 points out of a wildcard spot. To Ball Arena, the Stars and Avalanche found themselves in overtime. It only took 34 seconds before the puck found the back of the net.
Dropping it back to Makar. Bell Makar cuts to the middle, shoot, scores!
Sound courtesy of TNT. Cale Makar scored an OT to score the Avs a 4-3 victory. This was Mikko Rantanen's first game back to Colorado. In his return, the Finn collected his 400th assist on Jason Robertson's goal. Martin Necas, who was sent to the Avalanche in the first Rantanen trade, also got on the board, scoring his 23rd goal of the season. To the Garden, the Rangers are facing off with the Oilers. Midway through the second, the two are tied at 1. Leon Draisaitl extended his point streak to 18 games, getting an assist on Corey Perry's power play goal. To the West, Utah and Vancouver are knotted at 0. Elias Pettersson looks to extend his goal streak to 4 games for the second time in his career. The Blues lead the Ducks 2-0 after scoring 2 in 90 seconds. St. Louis beat Anaheim the last 9 times the two have met, dating back to April of 2022. The final game on the slate features the Jets flying to Seattle to take on the Kraken at 9. Defenseman Brandon Montour enters the contest with 6 goals in March, which is tied for most among all skaters. With your intermission report from our WRHU Hofstra studios, I'm Zach Weicker. Once again, your New York Islanders are scoreless with the Panthers to end the first. Chris King and Greg Picker will be back with second period action right after these short messages on the New York Islanders Radio Network.
McDonald's supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
This is WRHU FM Hempstead, the radio home for your New York Islanders, Radio Hofstra University, WRHU Hempstead.
Get closer to the pride when you step inside WRHU's The Locker Room. Whether it's at Captain's Field,
This is Jacob Woznicki.
or the MAC,
This is Emma Von Essen.
This is Speedy Claxton.
or Stewart Stadium.
Hi, this is Lulu Cardello.
Hi, this is head coach Seth Tierney.
Listen for in-depth analysis of all your favorite Hofstra Pride players and teams.
History in Hempstead! The Hofstra Pride are kings of the Coastal Athletic Association.
Fridays from 5 to 6, only on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
This broadcast of New York Islanders hockey on WRHU is underwritten in part by UBS Arena. More information about UBS Arena is available at NewYorkIslanders.com/Belmont.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
When the Islanders are on the ice, we're on the air. The New York Islanders Radio Network.
Long Island's largest radio news team brings you the Associated Press award-winning program Newsline. Weekdays at 5:30 p.m. exclusively on WRHU-FM and WRHU.org Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
This is Anthony Duclair, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Chris King, Greg Picker, and Corey Wright back to UBS Arena. Isles and Cats are scoreless after one period of play. Between frames, MSG's Shannon Hogan had a chance to talk with Islander blue liner Mike Riley, again making his return tonight after missing 4.5 months of action following heart surgery.
Would love to get your feelings stepping on the ice for warm-ups and going through this first period and what that meant to you.
Yeah, it means a lot. It's obviously it's been a tough journey for sure, and a couple long months. But for me, since day one of kind of getting the surgery, I just try to have a good attitude every single day and kind of control what I can. And throughout the process, it wasn't always easy, but I knew the end goal was to get back playing before the end of the year, and here we are.
What kind of challenge is it for you jumping into game action? I mean, you can skate, you can practice, you can do all that. What is the biggest adjustment when you get back into a game?
Yeah, it's just a lot of timing, kind of getting back into the rhythm, and that's kind of hard to replicate in practice and kind of skating on your own. So obviously the game moves a lot quicker, than practice and skating on your own. But it's kind of just trying to find the timing and the rhythm, and kind of keep it simple a little bit.
What'd you see out of your team against the Panthers there in the first 20?
We played fast. We got up behind their D, kind of put their defensemen on their heels, and kind of got the puck down low. We're able to create a little bit, and I think we just got to keep playing fast, get it behind them, and forecheck them, because obviously they're an aggressive team. Well, we're definitely going to expect a pushback for them.
All right, Mike, thanks so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you.
And that is defenseman Mike Riley. Again, no score after one tonight on the island. New York outshot Florida 12-1 in period one. Islanders had the only 2 power play chances and could not convert. We welcome back in our partner Corey. It's time for Riddle the Radio.
All right, guys. Today's question comes from friend of the show, Red Grant, and this one from Roslyn with Love. Who is the only goaltender to appear in 100 games for both the Islanders and the Panthers?
Okay, I think I have this right off the bat.
This might be a generational one. So, Kinger, you probably have it. Greg, are you thinking of some Islander-Panther goalie combos right now?
I'm thinking of them, and the first 2 names to come to mind did not play 100 with one or the other.
Tim Thomas?
Did you have that one ready to go?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
That was good.
That was a good one. For those who don't remember, Tim Thomas's contract was traded to the Islanders
Yes, it was.
during the 2013 season, but he never actually played for the Isles.
All right, so Corey will be back with that answer to start the third as we get ready to start the second in a scoreless game. Islanders in the home blue, they're trimmed in orange and white. They go right to left this period with Ilya Sorokin in the goal to our right. Panthers in the visiting white, their trim is black, red, and yellow. They go left to right with Vitek Vanacek atop the crease to our left. So sticks down, puck down, period 2 underway. Again, the Islanders dominate period 1. and outshoot Florida 12-1. The only Panther shot came short-handed from a defenseman in Nico Makala as we get the puck pinned under a couple of players here in Islander ice. 13 seconds into the second period, and Greg, want to mention that for Ilya Sorokin tonight at his career game number 242, he passes Kelly Rudy now for fourth most games played in franchise history, trailing only Billy Smith, Rick DiPietro, and Chico Resch.
And Chico had 282 games played, so Ilya should pass him next season and move into sole possession of third place on the Islanders all-time games played list among goaltenders.
Well, Sorokin playing for the 13th time tonight in the last 14 games and 19th time in the last 21 contests as he continues to be a workhorse. And again, with no back-to-back scheduled anytime soon for the Islanders, they're playing every other day for a 13-day span. Don't expect him to get any less work with the Islanders again battling the Rangers right now on the second and final wild card spot. Islanders 6 points back. Here, Engvall open left dot, shoots off the chest of Vanacek and cleared out to center by Florida.
I'll tell you what, that goal would not have counted because the referees did miss a hand pass there from Fasching to Engvall, and that can be reviewed just like an offside challenge. So that would have been something if Engvall had scored, but the Cats, I'm sure, would have challenged immediately.
Yeah, they call it a missed stoppage challenge. Here, a quick chance, rebound goal in front for Florida. Sam Reinhart was wide open at the left of the crease after Sorokin made the initial save. And with his team leading 33rd goal of the year, Reinhart makes it 1-0 Florida.
That should be the third shot on goal of the game for the Panthers, assuming the first one actually got through to Sorokin and was not actually blocked in front of the net. But Barkov makes this play happen because there was the initial shot that was stopped. Rebound sitting in the low slot. Barkov streaking left to right. He gets possession and he puts it back across the grain towards the goal line where Reinhart is open and uncovered, and Reinhart just finishes it off. So he'll get the goal. Barkov, though, the primary assist is the real impetus for why Reinhart was so wide open.
And again, Reinhart came in one of the few slumps he's had this year. Just one goal in his last 13 games. But again, that's his 33rd. He continues to lead Florida. He's 9th in the league now in goals, and he makes it a 6-game point streak against the Islanders as he continues to pile up points when facing New York. He had 2 goals in the season series coming in, so now he's got 3 goals in the 3 games against the Islanders. Sam Reinhart, of course, also had some huge playoff goals for Florida. In fact, the cup-winning goal in Game 7 against the Oilers as Florida won it 2-1 to raise their first Stanley Cup in their 30th season of play in the National Hockey League. Panthers with it again here at center as Mikkola joins the rush over the Islander line, but offside on the right is Boquist. 1-0 Florida, again on Reinhart's 33rd of the year. Barkov will get the primary assist, and the secondary helper will be the man who took the shot from left point. I think I lost that one, but again, exactly 1 minute into the second.
Well, that is the 41st time in 66 games this season the Islanders have allowed the opening goal of the contest. That is second most in the National Hockey League, as the Penguins have allowed a league-high opening goal to a game 42 times.
And Florida held a 1-goal last night in their 3-1 loss in Montreal to the Canadiens. That was the red-hot Maki Samoskevich. And the Islanders have been held to just 1 goal in each of their last 3 games. So New York really needs to get the scoring going. And again, they scored 4 goals their first game after the Brock Nelson trade. That was in San Jose, but again, won each of the last 3 is here from behind the net. It was centered. Swing and a miss at the top of the crease, though, by Duclair. Right point shot by Dobson, wide right of the net. Duclair, also a former Panther, tried to wind it to Dobson at right point, but Noah had vacated his center point. And so Duclair's pass from below the Florida goal line ends up back behind his own goal line.
You mentioned the game last night in Montreal. The Panthers gave up the 3 goals against on just 15 shots.
Yes. Very easy night for Sam Montembeault. And the other way around, I'm sorry, easy for Sergei Bobrovsky. But it was Montreal Canadiens, Greg, who are hanging in and making a push, too. They're at 71 points. Rangers have 72 with the Blue Shirts in the final wild card spot in the East. And Islanders hoping to get some help from Edmonton tonight, but at Madison Square Garden, it's a 1-1 game. Oilers and Rangers with 3:18 to go in the second.
And Detroit earlier today won on home ice against the Golden Knights, shutting out Vegas by a score of 3-0. So all these teams still in the mix in the Eastern Conference. A lot of them will be playing each other, so you know teams are going to be guaranteed points. And the Islanders will go shorthanded.
Kyle McLean just took down Gus Forsling, so Vitek Vanacek, the goaltender for Florida, off until the Islanders get possession. And it will again be McLean going here at 2:49 of the second. First Florida power play. Let's get the call.
New York number 32, minor penalty for tripping.
So our first look at the Florida man advantage, 10th best in the NHL at 23.9%. Islanders on the kill, second worst, 70.9%.
That's an offensive zone penalty taken by McLean as he just gets his stick right between the legs of Forsling behind Vitek Vanacek's net. And the Islanders, who were not able to take advantage of their 2 power plays in the first period, did not take a lead. Find themselves trailing in the early stages here of the second period. Try not to go down by multiple goals.
Florida wins the face-off, and they go to work on the power play. Quick shot left dot. Good save by Sorokin as he'll smother that try by Sametskevich. Florida's power play 2 for 4 in the first 2 wins over the Islanders. Matthew Tkachuk, who's out injured, scored here, and Carter Verhaeghe down in Sunrise.
Panthers power play has scored 6 times over the last 6 games, going 6 for 17 in that run.
They really miss Matthew Tkachuk, though. Again, he's their leading power play goal man with 11 on the year, and of course, he was hurt in that Four Nations face-off tournament. Here, a left circle shot, blockered away by Sorokin. That was Sametskevich, who again's got the hot hand. 6 goals in his last 11 games. Here he fires again and misses the net. With such force, it comes all the way back on the fresh ice to his own net, where Vanacek plays it on the near side.
Good memories for him, though. Sametskevich scored his first career goal in this building earlier this year. It was career game number 17 for him.
And I would think he has friends and family in the building. He's a Connecticut native. As here, a little lob on goal from the left circle is gloved by Ilya Sorokin. He'll hold on. 1-0 Florida. Again, it's Reinhart's 33rd, Barkov and Forsling the assist. So Gus Forsling took the left point shot, Sorokin the save, and then Barkov the brilliant little shovel pass to a wide-open Reinhart left of the paint to put the Cats on top.
And Sametskevich, 13 goals this season. That is tied for the 3rd most among rookies in the National Hockey League.
And he's a former first-round pick in the 21 draft after 2 years of college hockey at the University of Michigan. Islanders win the face-off. Kyle Palmieri sends it all the way down. Panthers approaching the midpoint of their first power play here, trying to add to the 1-0 lead. So Seth Jones starts the breakout from behind his own net. Passes back and forth, or Sametskevich now to Reinhart through the neutral zone. Left wing over the Islander line for Rodriguez to the half court. Put it to the net, but in the skates of Barkov. Sasha Barkov knocked to the ice on a good hit by Romanov. He pops right back up. Mayfield takes it away, but gave it away. Reinhart goes out to Jones at left point. Takes a look now, right point Sametskevich. Right wing corner for Barkov. Barkov takes a look on the half boards now. Is their captain, goes through the seam, missed everybody. Held in by Florida's Sametskevich. Top of the left circle, plays it down low behind the net. They work it down the middle for Seth Jones. Shoots, a blocker save, Sorokin, big rebound. Islanders poke it toward the blue line and out the center.
That was a juicy rebound sitting there. Barkov looked to attack.
Short-handed Palmieri to the right circle, walks in, shoots, and a good save. Getting it with the elbow of his blocker arm was Vitek Vanacek.
But Horvat with the setup there as he was taken out of the play, essentially near side half-board offensive zone, but still poked the puck to an open Palmieri.
Dying seconds of the power play, Reinhart fires, right circle, and it goes in! It looped up over the shoulder of Ilya Sorokin, popped down in the crease, and trickled over the goal line. And we'll see who touched it last. It might have been Barkov, but it's 2-0 Panther.
A shot came in, hit the right shoulder of Sorokin, and he just didn't know where that puck was. And it was heading over him and into the goal as Romanov recognized it. Swing and a miss, though, because that puck was elevated. Reinhardt shot just towards the right side of the circle on the right side there, just adjacent to the actual face-off dot. See if Barkov got a piece of this or not. Did it go off Barkov, actually? It may have actually gone off Barkov's pant leg and over Sorokin, and that's why he didn't know where that puck was. So this will be Barkov's goal, as Reinhart will pick up the primary assist, shooting it in off of his captain.
So again, frustration for Romanov, Greg, because it popped up in the air, it landed in the crease, he had one swing at it in midair with a chance to get it out of there, and he just missed. It was about just below his knees when he took that swing, and once he missed, it hit in the paint and then bounced over the goal line inside the far post. So 2-0 Florida here on a pair of goals in the first 5 minutes of the second. They're looking for a third, but they miss on a cross-crease pass by Lundell. Islanders on the near wall have Engvall skating it out to center. He gets the red line, and then on back pressure, turned it over. Boquist, right wing over the New York line. Driving to the half boards, double team, so he dumps it behind the net. Dobson first on it there, rocked into the end boards by Verhaeghe. Pushed out toward the Islanders' far wall on their own end, and out of Engvall, left wing over the Florida line. Pierre hits the break, sprays some snow to Mike Riley, the defenseman below the Florida goal line. Goes for Cizikas, now to D'Angelo at right point. Tony D punches it down low, looking for Hudson Fasching. Centered it, but nobody there except white jerseys in front of the Florida net. And those jerseys belong to the Panthers. Getting the red line and sending it in is Nate Schmidt. He'll cross the ice and go off on the chain. So Barkov's credited with his 18th. It is on the power play in the dying seconds at 4:46 to make it a 2-0 lead.
I think officially 2 seconds to go on that McLean penalty before that puck ended up in the back of the net.
For Aleksander Barkov, his 4th goal in the last 7 games. And Florida looking for more here. So Panthers completely dominated in the first period and outshot by the Islanders 12-1. They now lead it 2-0 here early second.
And we heard Tony D'Angelo in our first intermission interview. He said that the first period you could tell they played last night, but he knows that they're going to make a push thereafter once they get their legs going, and that has been the case here in the second period.
Well, the ironic thing is, Greg, here Friday, Edmonton had that push in the first period, even though they played the night before. They outshot the Islanders 17-6 in period 1. And the Islanders got their legs going in the second. Islanders here trying to cut into the lead. Romanov above the left circle. Behind the net now for Anders Lee. The captain leaves it there and gets it back to Duclair, bottom of the left circle, left point Romanov. Takes the wrister and it's wide left along the ice. Pajot trying to tap it back to Dobson at right point, had it blocked. So he goes to Lee, right corner. The captain on the half wall, skates it out to right point, finds Horvat center point. Now back top of the right circle for Dobson's try. That's off the shin pads of Mikkola and wide of the net. Horvat trying to hold it in left half point to Romanov at left point. Pass is blocked, and now Florida can't get it as they're out of gas. A break for New York as Horvat gathers it in his own end. Bounces back to Horvat over the Florida line, top of the left circle. Takes the shot, held by Vanacek, pinning it against his body. He'll take the whistle and we'll take a timeout. 2-0 Panthers, 12:42 to go in the middle frame tonight here on Long Island. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
This live game broadcast of New York Islanders hockey is produced and distributed by WRHU Radio, Hofstra University.
McDonald's supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
This is Anders Lee, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, again, Mike Riley returns tonight after having heart surgery. He's missed 4.5 months of action. He was asked if he could learn anything watching all those Islander games from the press box.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, I always enjoy watching hockey just in general, but obviously when it got closer a little bit, just kind of trying to pick up on some things, and you're kind of watching the game more as if you were on the ice instead of in the stands and whatnot. But yeah, just I think that's a small little way that you can kind of stay sharp a little bit, just to see reads and just kind of dialed in a little bit more, kind of like you're actually on the ice a little bit as a player.
That is Mike Riley.
Panthers lead 2-0, 2 goals in the second period. Sam Reinhart, his 33rd of the year from Aleksander Barkov and Gus Forsling. Then on the power play, 3 minutes and 48 seconds later, Barkov gets credit for his 18th of the season from Reinhart and Eetu Luostarinen. That Reinhart shot goes off the pant leg of Barkov, pops over Sorokin, and into the net came on the power play. Panthers 1-for-1 on their advantages.
Well, Islanders down a pair here, and New York again has been held to just a single goal in each of their last 3 games. They haven't gotten anything behind Vanacek yet tonight, who's yet to surrender a goal as a Florida Panther, as he had a shutout in his Cats debut a week ago yesterday at home against Buffalo. So his first road game with the Florida Panthers is going very well as he stopped all 12 shots Islanders put his way in the first period. Here's Seth Jones bidding for his first goal as a Panther. Shoots from right point. It's knocked down in front, but taken away by Rodriguez behind the Islander net. Leaves it for Barkov at the left dot. Rolled off his stick. Islanders Palmieri comes away at center, near side between the penalty boxes, and then left wing over the Florida line, fighting off the checking of Jones, but then Barkov took him down. Palmieri wants a penalty, none called, and Florida gets it out to center.
Palmieri initial inside-outside fake that got him around Jones. but then Barkov, the defensively responsible forward for the Panthers, was able to help out his new teammate on the blue line and not allow Palmieri to get any type of chance on goal.
Nate Schmidt and Islander ice, left point for the Mikula shot. That's wide left. Sorokin way out of his crease, but grabbed by Gatcomb, and they'll skate it right wing over the red line, down the middle of Romanov, joining the rush to McLean, trying to go back door, right of the paint for Gatcomb, but Kyle's pass just a little too hot and had some air under it as well. D'Angelo the hold at right point, little toe drag to center point, to Romanov left point, shot, knocked down by Vanacek, big rebound in front, but Florida gets there first and works it out to neutral ice.
Hard snapshot from Romanov left point, was hoping for a deflection from Kyle McLean, it missed his stick, and the netminder Vanacek was all over it.
McLean trying to get some payback here as he was the guy in the penalty box when Barkov scored the power play goal. So 2-0 Florida, less than a minute away from the midpoint of the second period. Cats get it out to center, and Mike Riley is going to wrist it back in, but you may be able to hear the linesman yelling, off, 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 alerting the Islanders they are offside and they must tag up, which they do. Engvall, the lead forward, the F1 as the coaches like to call it, on that forward check, but the Panthers get it to center and then wrist it in. Sametskevich down the right wing wall, met by Mike Riley, pulled out of there by Engvall, out to center for Hudson Fasching, who took a big hit between the penalty boxes as he got tangled up there with Balinskis, and now the Islanders start back in their own end. Mike Riley dumps it off for Scotty Mayfield. He drops it further, and with speed, here's Engvall over the red, left wing over the Florida blue. Pierre around the man through the left circle. Tried to center it, but it was deflected, and then paddled down. Vanacek made the save, poked it to the near corner. Florida comes away quickly through the neutral zone. Sam Bennett to the Islander line. Had it taken away from behind by Engvall to Pollock on the far side to Dobson on the near, and he'll begin the Islander breakout. Stick handling to his own blue, then the red, then over the Florida blue. Down the slack goes Dobson. Soft wrister along the ice, though, an easy stick save for Vanacek.
Islanders have started to take away the territorial edge again over the last few minutes, the way that we saw it the majority of the first period, but still 18 shots, 18 saves for Vanacek.
Well, we passed the midpoint of this contest, 2-0 Panthers. Both goals in the second period, even strength for Sam Reinhart, man advantage goal for Sasha Barkov. Islanders here with it in the Florida zone, but turn it over. Nico Sturm fights it out to center. He's still looking for his first point as a Florida Panther, just coming over before the deadline. Again, we mentioned Seth Jones. He has 1 assist in 6 games with the Cats. Anders Lee works it out right point for Romanov, winds and fires. Vanacek, another big save, a big rebound, held in by Romanov right on the blue paint of the blue line. To Tony D'Angelo, center point, takes a look, nothing there, does a little spin move, skates to above the left circle, dropped it off for Pajot, center point. JG shoots through the screen. Don't think Vanacek ever saw it as Duclair took away his eyes, but it missed the net. D'Angelo center point wrister. That one hit bodies in front, broken up by the Panthers as it was off the body of Bennett, and now Florida gets it to the Islander line, only to turn it over. Horvat with speed, put himself offside at the Florida line, but the Islanders able to tag up with the Panthers now in possession.
That was an elevated bouncing puck. If Horvat is able to put that down in front of his stride, he would have turned that into a maybe 3-on-1, but the Panthers trying to change after a long shift in the defensive end, but puck ends up behind him, and the Panthers were able to clear.
Here comes Horvat with speed, 2-on-2 with Palmieri at the Florida line. They crisscross. Palmieri drops it to Dobson, top of the right circle, cutting to the half boards, now the goal line. Noah Dobson has it knifed off his stick by Gus Forsling on a great play, and then a nice outlet here to Reinhart, left wing over the New York line, to Barkov on the doorstep for Rodriguez, chipped it on goal, good save, Sorokin. He'll pin the rebound to his body, and now Nico Mikula getting into it with Kyle Palmieri as he gives him a face wash. Mikula does to Palms after the whistle, and the linesmen quickly intercede. We'll take a timeout. 8:02 to go in the second on the island tonight. It's 2-0 Florida. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Coyote Promotions supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.
When the Islanders are on the ice, we're on the air. The New York Islanders Radio Network.
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
This is Kyle Palmieri, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, UBS Arena was built for hockey and made for music and comedy as well. Now, on Saturday, March 29th at 8 p.m., Cat Williams brings his Heaven on Earth tour here. Don't forget, next Sunday, a week from today, March 23rd at 5 p.m., the Israel Elite Hockey League will play their first ever game in North America, and they have selected UBS as the place to do it, as HC Tel Aviv will take on the Jerusalem Capitals. Islanders following tonight's game will be in Pittsburgh on Tuesday, but they begin a 4-game homestand Thursday, 7:30 against the Montreal Canadiens. For details and tickets on all of these events, go to ubsarena.com.
Yeah, this is the 4th game of a 6-game road swing for the Panthers, but they actually have 3 days off between tonight and then Thursday in Columbus, so the Caps will actually go back home to South Florida. We're heading out on the last 2 games of the road swing in Columbus on Thursday, Saturday in Washington, and then another back-to-back for them. Yep. Sunday at home against the Penguins in their first home action in 7 games. This is a season-long 6-game road trip.
So again, they started it with a 3-2 loss in Boston, then they won 3-2 in Toronto. That was a huge game for them because the Maple Leafs were only 2 points back of them with Florida atop the Atlantic Division, so they opened up a 4-point lead. And then last night, the 3-1 loss in Montreal. So 1-2 on the trip are the Florida Panthers. As Greg told you, they decided to go home for a few days rather than stay here or stay in Columbus before they battle the Blue Jackets on Thursday night. Well, right now, Florida has the 2-goal lead, 8:02 to go in the second period. Face off in the right circle of Islander ice, it's Sam Bennett against Pierre Engvall. Down on the dot, and Engvall the clean win. Behind his net for Romanov, up the near side for Cizikas. Briefly held in by Florida, but now taken by Engvall, left wing over the Florida stripe. Takes the shot, and he missed it wide right. Or Vanacek may have got a piece. Either way, it deflects out of play. And Greg, Pierre Engvall is playing some great hockey. Friday here, he was so good during the game that Patrick Waugh gave him multiple shifts in overtime.
Now, we know the speed that he has, and he utilized it there again. He chips it by a Panther in the defenseman, Balinskis, and is able to just get around Bennett. And, oh, yeah, Vanacek definitely got a piece of that one as we take a look on the replay. He didn't completely get by Bennett, but enough to create separation to get the shot off. A hard rising snapshot on the rush left wing side. But Vanacek makes his 21st save of the game. It was on Friday night where Engvall had 4 shots on goal, the most of any forward for the Islanders.
Islanders pressing here, but Nico Mikkola moves it up the near side boards. Got it ahead to Boquist, who pushed it over the Islander line, only to give it right back. Gatcomb on that Islander 4th line right now with Cizikas. And also Kyle McLean gets it in deep, and Balinskis starts from behind his own net. Nice stretch pass out the center. Lostarinen catches it right in front of his bench, left wing through center. Try to cross-ice pass, deflected away. And now a chance for Kyle McLean above the left circle. Dropping from Mike Riley, but he's sealed off and taken down by Balinskis. Gets back up and has the rubber. Backhand in the slot by Siplikov, and he just missed it wide right along the ice. McLean carries it to the right half boards, gets spun around here by Mikkola. No penalty call. That was a borderline hold. We play on. McLean, left half boards, try to go back to the blue line to Dobson, but the Panthers get it by him. Foot race in Islander ice, and Mayfield able to get there ahead of Lostarinen, who's in the zone when it's put in by Lundell, so Florida must tag up and get back on side now, which they do. Islanders carry it through center. Dobson gets the red line. Noah playing on his offside tonight, the right-handed shot playing left D as Ryan Pullock stays on his natural side of right D. Here Islanders got it in the paint. Hudson Fashing from the far side of the crease. Put it right through, far side to near, and then the Cats bring it 3-on-2 over the Islander line. Top of the left circle, handled there by Verhaeghe. He spun it toward the net, only to have Dobson intercepted. Tried to hit Engvall, missed. Foot race here, and they rule that Seth Jones would have won the race, so it is icing against the Isles. 2-0 Florida, 6:15 to go in the middle period.
Sneaky play by Fashing on the other side of the ice. He had the puck on his forehand and was skating right to left, where he could have gone for a wraparound on the forehand, which is, I think, what the Panthers all thought he was going to do. Instead, he does a little reversal. It puts a backhand wraparound on goal, and Vanacek was able to recover and make the stop, but it certainly was hairy for the Panthers for just a moment there, with Fashing surprising them.
Hudson Fashing playing in his 28th game of the season tonight, still looking for his first goal, which means that, yes, Ilya Sorokin is still outscoring him as the Islander goaltender. Of course, scored a goal here earlier this year against the Nashville Predators. Schmidt shoots from the top of the right circle, a left pad save by Sorokin. Cizikas digging away in the near corner, trying to get it out, goes far corner for Pullock, plays it off the kick plate for Anders Lee, trying to jab it through the traffic, could not. Good work there by Reinhart for Florida, joined now by Rodriguez. Finally, it's Pulock with an aerial alley-oop here, trying to send away Duclair at the Florida line, but good, strong work by Nate Schmidt to fight up the forechecking. And now in comes Anders Lee. Moves it out to left point for Romanov. That shot broken up in front. Rebound loose. Vanacek down in the crease, tangled up with an Islander. They're still trying to get away from each other. The Islanders have possession of the puck, and finally Duclair and Vanacek separate. Anders Lee fell down in the right wing corner of Florida ice, and then Reinhart moved it to the blue line, but not out, and now to center goes Barkov.
If that shot went in, I am not so sure it would have stood as a goal, especially what we saw last week in Los Angeles for the Islanders when they had 2 goals taken off the board on goaltender interference. But it stays out, so it's a moot point anyway. Under 5 to go in the second period, 2-0 Panthers.
Romanov gave it up at the Florida line. DeAngelo backed him up and skated it to New York ice. Again, Tony DeAngelo had the only Islander goal in Anaheim. Anders Lee, the only Islander goal in Los Angeles. And Bo Horvat, the only Islander goal here Friday against Edmonton. Again, New York has been held to 3 goals in the last 3 games. And tonight, 21 shots on Vitek Vanacek, 21 saves for the brand new Florida Panther. Palmieri moving it cross ice in front of the benches, connects with Mayfield, got the red line, signs Holmstrom through the right circle, has Horvat and Palmieri going to the net, but his centering feed broken up nicely by the Cats. On the near side wall, A.J. Greer had it pop up in the air. He gave it away to Palmieri, shoots, sharp angle, bottom of the left circle, but off the back glass, it carries all the way to the New York end where Sorokin will tee it up behind for Scott Mayfield. So Scotty Mayfield takes a look. Both benches changing here, so he'll buy some time. Mayf moves to his right, moves it out to center, but telegraphed it and turned it over. Florida put it in the zone with men in there, so they were offside. Islanders go the other way. Engvall, left wing over the Florida stripe, met from behind by Verhaeghe, who stripped him of the puck. Here's Bennett, 2-on-1 through the right circle. Bennett shoots, and he missed it wide right. May have hit the skate of Dobson, deflecting it to the outside of the right post. Panthers Bennett goes out to right point in Islander ice. Forsling moved it down low. At the half wall, picked up there now by Balinskis. Flipping it left point, or check that. That is Balinskis getting it from Samaskevich. Put it to the net. Dobson intercepts it right of the crease to Zizekas far side. Still 2-0 Panthers. 3:20 to go in the second period. Engvall in his own end. Flips it ahead at center. Connects with Hudson Fasching. And now to Engvall, 1-on-1 with Forsling. Top of the right circle. He's going to pull up, ladle it in deep, and then head off on a chain. Islanders still in possession in the Florida end. Mark Gatcomb around to Sitlikov in the right wing corner. Sippy takes the shot. It's blocked. Held in by Romanov at left point. He fumbled it and then turned it over. Florida with a chance for numbers here, but Samaskevich is out of gas. He'll get the red and get it in deep and head off on a chain. So Tony DeAngelo from behind the Islander net. Shots are 21-8 New York. Islanders being outshot in this, or check that, are outshooting Florida 9-7 in the second period after outshooting them 12-1 in the first.
And the Panthers only had 2 shots on goal since their last goal that came 4:48 into this period.
Islanders put one from center ice into the belly of Vanacek, and he will hold and take the whistle. 2-0 Florida, 2:34 remaining in period 2.
So again, the Panthers came out with a flurry of chances in the first 5 minutes of the second. Had 1 even strength goal, a minute in, 1 power play goal, 4:48 in, and then the Islanders got their legs going again, the way that we saw them in the first, but have not been able to beat Vanacek despite the greater number of chances.
So face-off, 2 Vanaceks left in the right circle of Florida ice. It's Lundell beating J.G. Pajot to it. Florida lifts it high in the air at center, where it drops down for Boquist on the right half board. Jesper Boquist shoots from there, and Riley deflects it out of play. We'll take a timeout. Lots of deuces on the board. 2:22 to go in period 2. 2-0 Florida. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
When the Islanders are on the ice, we're on the air. The New York Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
This is Anthony Duclair, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, with Brock Nelson now playing for the Colorado Avalanche, the A that was on his left shoulder for alternate captain goes to Kyle Palmieri at home and Ryan Pulock on the road. The captain himself, Anders Lee, was asked about the selection of those two.
Oh, it's great. It's completely deserved for both of them. They're veteran guys. They've been around a lot. They know how to handle themselves and what to say in the room. And great to have Pools back there on the back end and have his voice. I mean, his voice is always. Nothing changes from him, but his voice is important on the back end, and Palms is just someone that is just, very professional, has a ton of character, and puts everything he has into everything every night. So, it's just great to see these guys get the recognition that they deserve, and huge for our leadership group.
That is Anders Lee, and Greg, still no Avalanche goals for Brock Nelson, but he did have an assist today on the overtime winner by Cale Makar, his second point with Colorado.
A lot of eyes on that game because it was Colorado hosting Dallas, and Mikko Rantanen's return to Colorado. He's already now on his second team since departing the Avalanche.
And everybody awaiting the Florida Panther debut of Brad Marchand after 16 seasons in Boston. Came across to the Florida Panthers at the deadline, but has yet to play due to injury. Another newcomer here, Seth Jones, whistles one wide from the top of the right circle. They go back to Jones at right point. Snapshot punched away with a waffle by Sorokin, but right back to Jones at right point. Plays it behind the net for Evan Rodriguez. To the right wing corner for Sasha Barkov, the Florida captain. Out to Jones at right point. Now he goes left point for Mikkola. Takes the shot toward the net. That hit Noah Dobson, who had it dropped down on his stick, but he missed on the long pass for Simon Holmstrom, and Seth Jones beats him to it. Oh boy, turned it over to Horvat, but Bo couldn't hold it, and Florida goes the other way. Reinhart, nice poke check at the Islander line by Noah Dobson, moved it out to center. Under 90 seconds to go in the second period, Islanders trailing 2-0. Florida turns it over in the neutral zone, then gets it back. They bring it over the Islander line. Down the slot is Bennett, left of the net, sharp angle try, what a save! Sorokin denying Verhaeghe point blank. Forsling, slapper from left point, friendly fire as he took down Verhaeghe in the slot, but Carter's right back up. Horvat over the Florida line to Palmieri, top of the left circle, plays it to Bo behind the net. Now to the third member of the line, Anders Lee in the right wing corner, as we see Patrick Roy change things up here, putting Anders Lee in the Simon Holmstrom spot on that top line, at least for the moment, with Bo Horvat and Kyle Palmieri.
There's only 3 goals total scored in the last 4 games, including tonight.
Yep.
That's why Patrick Roy is just looking for something else that will spark the offense.
Again, he put Simon Holmstrom there to start the game tonight, flipped him with Anthony Duclair, who dropped to the second line in Homer's spot with Pajot and Lee, but now it's in the blender, and we'll see if it results in anything. 30 seconds to go in the period. Islanders would love to get on the board and cut the lead in half before intermission, but Duclair turned it over in Florida ice. Here's Samoskevich, penalty coming up on the Islanders, and so Vanacek goes to the Florida bench. They'll go 6-on-5 here until it's grabbed by Pajot, and with 11.6 seconds to go in the second period, Florida is headed to their second power play. They scored on the last one.
I think too many men on the ice against the Islanders is this call.
Just make it official.
New York minor penalty for too many men on the ice.
Well, Eagle Eye Picker was all over the top of it, so, Greg, you don't want that penalty at any time, but especially now with a chance for Florida to add to the lead before the break.
Well, Mike Riley had jumped on the ice, and then the defenseman he was replacing couldn't quite pick up the number on who that was. Just hesitated for a brief moment, making sure that the Panthers didn't throw the puck his direction when Riley thought that player was on his way to the bench. So that Romanov maybe that hesitated? Yes, Romanov was just a little slow to get to the Islander bench when Riley came on, so that's a penalty against the Islanders.
Islanders do win the face-off. Romanov gets the clear, and that should just about do it for the period, which only has 5 seconds remaining in it, as Vanacek will leave it behind his net. 3-2-1 on the big board. The horn will sound, and period 2 comes to an end tonight here at UBS Arena with our score: the Florida Panthers 2, the New York Islanders nothing. Panthers will have 1 minute and 48 seconds of fresh ice with which to work on the power play when the final frame begins.
The Panthers did score 60 seconds into this period. Sam Reinhart's 33rd of the year from Aleksander Barkov and Gus Forsling. That gave the Panthers a 1-0 lead, a rebound goal there for Reinhart. And then Barkov on the power play just takes a shot from his teammate Sam Reinhart off the leg, and it pops in, a fluky goal there but it's the 18th of the season for Barkov. Comes with 2 seconds to go on an Islander penalty. Eetu Luostarinen picks up the secondary assist on that one. Islanders still do outshoot the Panthers 10-9 in the period for the game, 22-10 favoring the Islanders, but the Panthers have a 2-0 lead.
Well, Greg, you mentioned it. Florida had that early push. Islanders responded late, but again, 5 minutes into the second, it was 2-0 Panthers on those goals from Reinhart at even strength and Barkov on the man advantage. So we head downstairs where defenseman Scott Mayfield is standing by. And Mayf, just your thoughts on what you've seen through 2 frames tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know they'd have a little bit more of a push in the second. I really liked our first, but they were able to capitalize on 2 opportunities, and we got to do the same now.
Pierre Engvall tied for the team lead with 3 shots on goal today, led all forwards on Friday. What have you noticed from his game these last couple of contests?
He's moving his feet. I mean, that's his game. Is when he's skating, he's a really good player. So I like it when he drives wide. He's gotten some chances tonight doing that, and it's good to see.
Well, you're paired up with Mike Riley. Scott, what is it like just to have him back, 4.5 months removed from heart surgery, and how has he looked so far to you?
He's been great. For me, it's just make it as easy as possible for him, and he's looked really good. He's battled this whole season, so it's been it's good to have him back, and it's a lot of fun playing with him out there.
All right, Mayf, thanks for joining us. Best of luck in that third period.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Again, that is Islander defenseman Scott Mayfield. New York trails Florida 2-0 after 40 minutes of play tonight here at UBS Arena. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we return, Greg and Corey, the Talking House podcast guys, they'll break down the middle stanza. It's next. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
McDonald's supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
This is WRHU FM Hempstead, the radio home for your New York Islanders, Radio Hofstra University, WRHU Hempstead.
Get closer to the pride when you step inside WRHU's The Locker Room. Whether it's at Captain's Field,
This is Jacob Woznicki.
This is Millie Davis.
or the MAC,
This is Emma Von Essen.
This is Speedy Claxton.
or Stewart Stadium.
Hi, this is Lulu Cardello.
Hi, this is head coach Seth Tierney.
Listen for in-depth analysis of all your favorite Hofstra Pride players and teams.
History in Hempstead! The Hofstra Pride are kings of the Coastal Athletic Association!
Fridays from 5 to 6, only on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
This broadcast of New York Islanders hockey on WRHU is underwritten in part by UBS Arena. More information about UBS Arena is available at NewYorkIslanders.com/Belmont. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network. Find more information about the New York Islanders at NY Islanders across platforms X, Instagram, TikTok, and New York Islanders on Facebook.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Coyote Promotions supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.
Long Island's largest radio news team brings you the Associated Press award-winning program Newsline. Weekdays at 5:30 p.m. exclusively on WRHU FM and WRHU.org, Radio Hofstra University.
This is Ryan Pollock. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
We welcome you back to the Stan Fischler press level at UBS Arena. Greg Picker here alongside Corey Wright. And now after 2 periods of play, the Florida Panthers do hold a 2-0 lead over the New York Islanders. We didn't have any goals after the first period, but it took 60 seconds into the second for Sam Reinhart to score his team-leading 33rd of the season. Aleksander Barkov and Gus Forsling the assist on that goal. And then on the power play, 3 minutes and 48 seconds later, Aleksander Barkov gets credit for his 18th of the season. This time, Sam Reinhart shooting a puck off the pant leg of Barkov, pops over the shoulder of Ilya Sorokin and in at Luost Arena with the secondary assist on that goal. So 2-0 Cats after 2, despite the Islanders holding a 22-10 shot advantage. And the early stage of the third period key because the Panthers will still have a minute and 48 seconds of power play time to work with off the too many men on the ice call.
And Tony DeAngelo said after the first period that at some point the Florida Panthers would make a push, and boy, it came quickly in that second period. Obviously, kind of a deflating goal, the fact that the Islanders, who had had such a dominant first period, really did everything except score, wind up giving the go-ahead goal to the Panthers just a minute in, and that kind of felt like it set the tone for really a much more even period, Greg. Obviously, the shot totals, after being pretty wide in the first period at 12-1, were only 10-9 in favor of the Islanders in the second period, and obviously the Panthers able to open up a 2-0 lead, and where we saw dominance from the Islanders across the shot totals, the attempts, the high danger chances, well, the pendulum has swung back in favor of the defending champs, who had 4 high danger chances at 5-on-5 compared to just 2 for the Islanders.
I do think you could take a look at that second period in 3 different segments. First 5 minutes, dominated by the Panthers. They score twice. Next 10 minutes certainly favored the Islanders from the 5-minute mark to the 15-minute mark, but they could not convert and cash in on the chances that they had. Think of Pierre Engvall rushing down the left wing side, puts that off the shoulder of Vanacek. Good-looking shot there, but Vanacek able to make one of his better saves of the game. And then the last 5 minutes of the period, Panthers started to regain the territorial edge, and partially does result in that too many men call against the Islanders. They'll have to contend with that for the first minute and 48 of the third.
And for Pierre Engvall, you and I talked about wanting to see that good game we saw against the Edmonton Oilers maybe replicated here, and so far I think that line has also been good again this game. Pierre Engvall certainly has been noticeable. That shot that you spoke of was one of his 3 in this contest right now, which is tied for the team lead. So have to give credit where it's due. Pierre Engvall taking the momentum from Friday into Sunday.
2-0 Panthers after 2 periods from UBS Arena. Coming up just 1 minute away, it's the Metropolitan Division Highlights of the Week. We call it Metro Madness. You're listening to New York Islanders Hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Get closer to the pride when you step inside WRHU's The Locker Room. Whether it's at Captain's Field,
This is Jacob Woznicki.
This is Millie Davis.
or the MAC,
This is Emma Von Essen.
This is Speedy Claxton.
or Stewart Stadium.
Hi, this is Lulu Cardello.
Hi, this is head coach Seth Tierney.
Listen for in-depth analysis of all your favorite Hofstra Pride players and teams.
History in Hempstead! The Hofstra Pride are kings of the Coastal Athletic Association!
Fridays from 5 to 6, only on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
Coyote Promotions supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU.
This is Adam Pella. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And this is Chris King, joined by Greg Picker and Corey Wright, back to UBS Arena. Second intermission, and the Florida Panthers have a 2-0 lead over the New York Islanders. Well, each and every week, our Ethan Poole takes a closer look at all the action in the Metropolitan Division, gathers it all together, and gives us the best of. And what a battle it is right now, as teams 4 through 8 in the Metro are separated by just 8 points. So here is Ethan's weekly report that he calls Metro Madness.
With March being the month of madness, let's look at the last week of Metropolitan Division hockey. The Islanders have dropped their last 3 and are now 6 points out of the wildcard spot, with several teams in between them and the 8-seeded Rangers. It won't get easier for the Blue and Orange either, as they have the 3rd hardest remaining schedule in the league. For New Jersey's injury situation, when it rains, it pours. Dougie Hamilton and Jonas Siegenthaler have joined Jack Hughes on LTIR. All 3 men are out for, at very least, the rest of the regular season. Despite the injuries, the Devils have won 3 of 4. In Raleigh, the Canes have finally busted out of futility with 7 wins in a row. While the first few wins of the streak were tight affairs, Carolina is now delivering beatdowns with authoritative wins over Detroit, Tampa, and Philly.
Third power play for the Canes. Blake. Gostis for shot save. Rebound as the score is all. After drawing the penalty, Rams home. The third shot in rapid succession, and it is 3-0 Carolina.
Despite the Hurricanes' hot streak, Washington is still the Metro's top dog. The Caps are nearly as hot, winning 6 of their last 7. Despite their incredible season, all of the attention is on one player. Ovi is now within 8 goals of Wayne Gretzky's record and is projected to score $895 by the end of the season.
Here's a steal for Dubois. Ovechkin bounces back to the line in the slot, and Ovechkin scores! Aleksander Ovechkin. He's now 7 away from tying Wayne Gretzky.
Back from the dead are the Penguins, who have won 4 in a row, thanks in large part to the emergence of youngster Philip Tomasino, who has 3 points in his last 2.
Here's a takeaway, and they score! Philip Tomasino!
The Jackets have struggled lately. Columbus has faced a brutal March schedule and has lost 5 of their 7 games this month. It'll get harder before it gets easier, too, with the games against Jersey and Florida up next. CBJ will need to pick themselves up quickly. They've fallen out of a playoff spot with less than 20 games to go. Finally, Philly's fortunes are the opposite of their cross-state rivals. They're residing in the Metro's cellar right now with losses in 7 out of their last 10. For the New York Islanders Radio Network, I'm Ethan. Sound courtesy of NBC Sports Network Washington, Philadelphia, and ESPN.
Great work, as always, by our Ethan Poole. Well, tonight on the island, we're through 40 minutes. It's the Florida Panthers 2 and the New York Islanders nothing. We'll take a quick time out, and when we return, we'll bring you an in-game sports update with all the out-of-town scores. We'll check in with Pierre Engvall from outside the New York dressing room. We'll wrap up Riddle the Radio, recap the second, and start the third. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Live from our WRHU Hofstra studios, I'm Zach Weicker. Tonight's slate features 6 other games around the league, so let's waste no time and get right into the action. Starting in Detroit, the Red Wings blew past the Golden Knights 3-0. Rookie defenseman Albert Johansson opened the contest by scoring his 2nd career goal.
For Tarasenko and Johansson, the move, and he scores! Just his 2nd NHL goal, and it's a beauty for Albert Johansson.
Sound courtesy of TNT. Detroit now holds 70 points and is 2 points out of a wildcard spot. To Ball Arena, the Stars and Avalanche found themselves in overtime. It only took 34 seconds before the puck found the back of the net.
Dropping it back to McCarr. Cal McCarr cuts to the middle, shoots, scores!
Sound courtesy of TNT. Cal McCarr scored an OT to score the Avs a 4-3 victory. This was Mikko Rantanen's first game back to Colorado. In his return, the Finn collected his 400th assist on Jason Robertson's goal. Martin Necas, who was sent to the Avalanche in the first Rantanen trade, also got on the board, scoring his 23rd goal of the season. To the Garden, the Rangers are facing off with the Oilers. With under 10 remaining in the contest, the Blue Shirts trail 2-1. Leon Draisaitl extends his point streak to 18 games, getting an assist on Corey Perry's power play goal. To the West, Vancouver leads Utah 1-0 halfway through the second. Quinn Hughes scored the sole goal on the power play. Elias Pettersson looks to extend his goal streak to 4 games for the second time in his career. Also in the second, St. Louis is up 2-0 over Anaheim after scoring both goals in the opening 90 seconds. The Blues have beat the Ducks the last 9 times the two have met, dating back to April of 2022. The final game of the slate features the Jets flying to Seattle to take on the Kraken. The two are scoreless midway through the third. Defenseman Brandon Montour enters the contest with 6 goals in March, which is tied for most among all skaters. With your intermission report from our WRHU Hofstra studios, I'm Zach Weicker. Once again, your New York Islanders trail 2-0 to the Panthers to end the second. Chris King and Greg Picker will be back with third period action after these short messages on the New York Islanders Radio Network.
You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network. Find more information about the New York Islanders at NY Islanders across platforms X, Instagram, TikTok, and New York Islanders on Facebook.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
This is Anders Lee, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Welcome back to UBS Arena. It's Chris King, joined by Greg Picker and Corey Wright. Second intermission, and the Florida Panthers have a 2-0 lead over the New York Islanders. Between periods, MSG's Shannon Hogan had a chance to talk with New York forward Pierre Engvall.
What have you been focusing on to bring that style of play?
I'm just trying to use my speed to my advantage and my big body, and playing with Seeker and Fashing. They play really hard and make plays out there. So I think we've been finding some chemistry. So feels good.
What have you seen from Florida? They have 2 goals, but you guys have played well overall through 40 minutes.
Yeah, like you said, I think we've been playing pretty good, and we have a lot of good chances. So I think it's just gonna keep rolling, and as soon as we get one, it's gonna be get the game going. So just keep going.
Is that part of the overall mentality? You're out shooting them 22-10. Is just get as many pucks to the net as you can, and you never know when you're going to get a good bounce.
Yeah, of course, but at the same time, we got to be smart with the puck and, make those plays at the right time, because, we don't want to let in the third for them. So, so smart choices and, just get the puck in the net.
All right. Thanks so much for your time, Pierre. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, for sure.
And that is Pierre Engvall. And by the way, happy birthday to Shannon Hogan as she celebrates her birthday tonight. I know she's hoping for a big Islander third period rally. Well, we were scoreless after one, but Florida scored a pair in the second period, 3 minutes and 48 seconds apart. The first one at the 1 minute mark at even strength for Sam Reinhart, his team leading 33rd from Barkov and Forsling. And then at 4:48, Sasha Barkov, his 18th of the year. That came on the power play, his 8th man-up goal from Reinhart and Lostarinen as New York outshot Florida 10-9 in the second. 2 period totals favor the Islanders 22-10. Florida 0 for 1 on their power play, or check it, 1 for 1 on their power play, but they'll start the third with 1 minute and 48 seconds of man-up time as the Islanders took a late bench minor to end the second for too many men on the ice. New York 0 for 2 on the power play. We welcome back in Corey to wrap up Riddle the Radio.
All right, guys, today's question coming to us from Red Grant. It is, who is the only goaltender to appear in 100 games for both the Islanders and the Panthers? Kinger, you seem pretty sure.
Yeah.
Lay it on us.
Well, I'm going to, if you're so confident, I just want to give somebody, maybe an expansion pick from the Islanders to the Panthers is what I'm thinking of. So, early to mid-90s player, Mark Fitzpatrick?
That's who I think it is, Mark
And
Fitzpatrick.
that would be correct.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Nice job, guys. Nice job.
The other 2 names that came into my mind, Roberto Luongo, but
no
not enough
chance
games,
with the Islanders.
and John Van Beesbrook, not enough games.
Yeah,
for the
only
Islanders.
one season with the Islanders for him. So
There's some decent crossover, though, between Islander and Panther net minors over the years.
Kevin Weeks would have played for
Kevin
both.
Weeks.
So, all right, great question, though. We appreciate
Pulling
that.
this up, 129 games with the Islanders, 119 with the Panthers for Mark Fitzpatrick.
Well, big third period here coming up for the Islanders, but they started on the penalty kill for 1 minute and 48 seconds with Florida trying to add to a 2-0 lead. The Cats in the visiting white, they are trimmed in black, red, and yellow. They go right to left this period with Vitek Vanacek in the crease to our right. Isles in the home blue, they're trimmed orange and white. They go left to right with Ilya Sorokin manning the net to our left. Islanders win the face-off and send it all the way down. So again, Florida power play is a perfect 1 for 1 as Barkov's power play goal double the lead at 4:48 of the second period. Panthers start the power play breakout on the fresh ice, which is the way all teams practice their power play, ideally. And now Bennett has it in the left wing corner of Islander ice. Goes to Barkov, right dot. To Bennett, right corner. To Barkov, top of the right circle. Shoots, and he missed the net. Setting the screen in front for Florida there was Reinhart, but now it's Tkachuk carrying it right wing over the Florida line and chipping it into the left wing corner where Barkov begins again. Leaves for Seth Jones. Carries it to his own blue line. That little slingshot drop pass connects with Bennett. Now to Barkov, who turned it over. Palmieri, right wing over the Florida line, short-handed. Little toe drag and then the shot. And Jones, I believe, deadened it with his body, getting a piece of it. So Seth Jones starts again. 50 seconds to go on the Florida power play. Connects with Bennett between the penalty boxes, but his return off target for Jones. And Florida almost had too many men on the ice there themselves as they get a late change for the final 40 of the man advantage. Rodriguez, top of the left circle in Islander ice for Verhaeghe. Behind the net for Lundell. Now to Verhaeghe, left corner, kicks it out right half boards to Lostarinen. Little drop pass on the half wall for Lundell. Center point Schmidt to Lundell, top of the right circle, right in the net. Deflected on goal. Sorokin looked behind him, but he's got it smothered under his leg pads as Lostarinen tried to redirect it for a deflection goal. 24 to go in the Florida power play, early third. Cats up 2-0.
There's kind of a shot pass low along the ice that Lostarinen was able to change the angle on his blade so that it could get up in a hurry once it made contact, but Sorokin able to get enough of it to not just make the save, but hold on.
A turnover, and here's Pajot, a short-handed breakaway. JG in alone, shoots, and Vanacek made the save.
Oh, what a burst of speed.
Here's a chance, Pajot out of Mayfield, top of the right circle, fires into the belly of Vanacek. So one great short-handed chance, a Pajot breakaway, and then Mayfield an open slapper from above the right circle.
That was a face-off win by the Panthers, and then Pajot just jumps it. Lundell a little careless with the puck after he gets possession, but Pajot knocks it away from him and is able to accelerate beyond Lundell. And a shot from Pajot on the forehand from the low slide into the top of the left pad from the netminder Vanacek, who didn't set up in a true butterfly-like position to make that save, but is able to keep it out. And the power play about to expire for the Panthers.
You may hear Vanacek banging his stick on the ice to alert the Panthers that Gatcomb is out of the penalty box, and now the Panthers back up to make sure he doesn't have an open lane to their net. So Florida 1 for 2 on the power play, but the Panthers lead it 2-0 here as we resume 5-on-5 play, 2 minutes into period 3. Florida's Mikkola above the left circle and Islander ice, down deep behind the net for Reinhart, now to Barkov on the right half boards. Barkov double-teamed, Engvall trying to poke it free. Barkov tried to go to Forsling at right point, but way too hot of a pass. Ends up back behind his own goal line with Gatcomb giving chase, but Nico Mikkola beats him to it. Goes off the dasher, far side, got it to the Islander line, where Tony DeAngelo flags it out of midair. Bounce pass off the near board, sent in by Horvat, right wing corner. It's Holmstrom giving chase, as Simon back on that top line for the moment with Horvat and Palmieri. Here, straight on slap shot, Pulock, wide right of the net, deflected. Horvat to Pulock, straight on, fakes the shot. Now drops it to Horvat, high slot, shoots from there, and that's blocked in the high slot, still loose. And then in the far corner, a tangle up of players. Schmidt and Palmieri both went down, and there's going to be a penalty. Let's see who's going to go. Maybe both.
They blew the whistle on Florida with possession.
Florida number 88, minor penalty for hooking.
So just Schmidt on the hook of Palmieri. And it's opportunity knocking for New York. Greggs, it's time for a New York Lottery power play.
And the Islanders really have to take advantage here, as they had a couple of man advantages in the first period, could not convert, and have been called for 2 penalties since. Panthers scored 1 power play goal in their 2 opportunities. Just got through a second kill, did the Islanders. So Horvat to take this draw, Palmieri to his left. Got Holmstrom set up at the point right now, but there are 2 defensemen. DeAngelo, who looks like a right winger on this power play setup, and Dobson, the other defenseman.
Islanders only 1 shot on goal on the 2 power plays combined. 4 minutes man up time. New York wins the faceoff. Palmieri, right half boards for Holmstrom, jumped off his blade. Florida just does squeak it by near side through Noah Dobson, and he's got to track it all the way back behind his goal line. So Ilya Sorokin will leave it for him there. Again, Palmieri and Dobson lead the team in power play points with 8 apiece. Palmieri and Lee lead the team in power play goals with 4 each, but Islanders here with a mental error, Greg. They did not have the red line and sent it in, icing against New York, and the fans right now showing their displeasure.
And that wasn't even a, hey, I didn't realize I have the center ice stripe yet. DeAngelo just thought that the Islanders forwards had enough speed to get to that puck first and negate a potential icing. So Dobson with a drop back for DeAngelo. He didn't even have the blue line yet, so he really thought that the Islanders would be able to get there first, but he didn't have the right angle on it. Holmstrom didn't have enough speed down the wing, and so that's why it's an icing.
Well, Horvat does win the ensuing defensive zone face-off, but then Dobson ran into Horvat and lost his stick and the puck, and the Florida Panthers take it away and now just stretch it back to their own end into Islander ice, where Dobson is forced to start again from behind his own net. Hooks around the goal, does Noah, comes up the middle of the sheet, over the red, right wing over the Florida blue. He's got a lane through the right circle, but knocked off his stick from behind on a good poke check by Gus Forsling. Florida lost it to the Islanders. Holmstrom left corner to DeAngelo at left point, but broken up. Holmstrom got it back to Horvat, bottom of the left circle to Palmieri, top of it. Now to DeAngelo at left point, top of the right circle, Dobson, bottom of the right circle, he feeds and gets it back from Horvat. Islanders go to DeAngelo left point to Dobson center point, top of the right circle for Simon Holmstrom, left point, Dobson's try, and that's deflected by a Panther. DeAngelo's behind the Florida net, finds Holmstrom covering for him at right point. Homer right of the net, Horvat, backdoor feed looking for DeAngelo, but broken up nicely by Losterinen. Islanders Dobson holds it in left point, Top of the right circle, Holmstrom to Dobson, same spot, shoots. Good save, Vanacek. Rebound kicked out for Lundell, and he'll clear.
Not the hardest shot from Dobson, but he was looking for a deflection from Palmieri, who was in front of that. Didn't come. That's why Vanacek makes a routine save. 12 seconds to go on the power play for the Islanders.
And Pulak's at his own blue line. He's got to hurry here. Over the red, right wing over the Florida blue. To Pajot, back to Pulley, but intercepted by the Cats. They send it in on Sorokin. Out of the box is Schmidt. Islanders 0 for 3 on their power play, and New York still trails it 2-0, coming up on 5 minutes into the third. Nice rush here, end-to-end by Mike Riley. Boy, if the Islanders missed that. But then from behind the Florida net, he turned it over on a centering feed to Schmidt, who connected with Bennett. Got the Islander blue line left side and wound it around in the far corner, trying to connect there with Samaskevich. And the puck loose in Islander ice. Mikkola can't hold the line, and he'll back it up to his own end here and reset. Bounce pass off the near boards. Bennett enters the Islander zone through the left circle, plays give and go. Sam Bennett takes a look and fires. Stroking the save through a screen. He didn't see it till the last second. Held in center point, Seth Jones. Behind the net for Bennett. Met there with Cizikas' pressure. Casey to the near side. Hudson Fasching spinning off the hit here as Samaskevich works him over. And now Tony DeAngelo, far side for Casey Cizikas. He'll move it out to Anders Lee, but the captain lost it at the red line. Florida gave it right back. Cizikas, top of the right circle. Backhand forehand to the net. Swept it on net. I don't think he actually got the shot off, but Vanacek made the save that might have come off his own defenseman.
May have gone off the skate of either Forsling or Cizikas as those two battled for that puck in front of the net.
So 6 minutes into the third, still 2-0 Florida on second period goals by Reinhardt at even strength and Barkov on the man advantage. Romanov over the Florida line, tried to play it right point for DeAngelo. It came back to Romy on the half boards, and now he had a lane to get it to DeAngelo, only to have Bennett break it up for Florida. Taken back by Engvall behind the Florida cage to Gatcomb in the left corner to Engvall half board to DeAngelo left point. Wrist shot deflected in front, rebound loose. What a save, Vanacek. Gatcomb the wraparound. He scores! Mark Gatcomb wraps it in from the left of the paint, and the Islanders finally break through on Vitek Vanacek. New York's on the board. They trail it 2-1.
Vanacek reacting from a shot from left point, and the initial rebound comes to Gatcomb. He tries to sneak it in short side along the ice, and that also draws Vanacek out of position as he makes the left pad save, but then Gatcomb just faster to that puck than everybody else, and he knows that there's a low percentage chance that Vanacek's going to be able to get back over to the far side. He's going to be relying on his defenseman, and nobody for the Panthers in Forsling nor Jones could protect the far side of the net, and Gatcomb, the right-handed shot, able to wrap it in. 2-1 Panthers, 13:31 to go in the third period. That's the fourth career goal for the Woburn, Massachusetts native.
So his first in a dozen games, though, for Mark Gatcomb, and the Islanders get the crowd back behind them now in a 2-1 contest as they finally get one by Vanacek, who surrenders his first goal as a netminder with the Florida Panthers. Again, he had a shutout his first game a week ago Saturday at home against Buffalo. Here the Panthers, Reinhardt, a soft shot from the right circle, saved by Sorokin. Rebound loose atop the crease area, and hooking around his net is Dobson. Tried to get it out near side, and it just missed the stick of Barkov. Back to center ice. Loose between the penalty boxes, throwing the body around Kyle McLean. But Nate Schmidt back skates to his own end and goes away from the pressure of Max Siplikov. So again, the goal will go to Gatcomb at 6:29 of the third period. And we'll await the assists on that beautiful wraparound by the rookie out of the University of Connecticut. Mayfield in the near corner of his own end gets double-teamed here. Boquist couldn't take it away. Cats hit Seth Jones, though, down the right wing wall. Back behind the net for Lundell to Boquist in the right wing corner. Mayfield, nice little touch pass. Islanders 3-on-2 if they hurry through center. Palmieri, top of the right circle to Mike Riley, shooting, and he missed it wide right. Holmstrom, the rebound from the bottom of the left circle, and getting over to seal off the far post in a heartbeat was Vitek Vanacek. Lundell, right wing over the Islander line. Snaps one on goal. A glove save, Sorokin, he'll hold, and we'll take a timeout. It's Florida 2, New York 1. 12:08 to go in the third tonight here at Belmont Park. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islander game broadcasts are supported in part by MSG Plus and MSG.com.
You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network. Find more information about the New York Islanders at NY Islanders across platforms X, Instagram, TikTok, and New York Islanders on Facebook.
This live game broadcast of New York Islanders hockey is produced and distributed by WRHU Radio, Hofstra University.
This is Bo Horvat, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, the Islanders started the night 6 points back of the Rangers, who hold the second wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. Islanders with 2 games in hand, and the Rangers have just lost at home 3-1 tonight to the Edmonton Oilers. This morning, Patrick Waugh was asked, what will it take for his club to make the postseason?
Well, I think to make the playoffs, you're going to have to be +7 or +8. So, I mean, we're playing well at home. I mean, if I look at our last, 11 games at home, we're 8-2-1, something like this. So we're +6. So if we do well on the road, but I'd rather not try to look at the big picture. I'd rather look at tonight. Tonight we're playing against a team that lost last night in Montreal. They had to travel after the game and on. So we need a good start. I mean, our starts hasn't been as good as it should be, and I would like us to have a good start tonight and play a strong game, and we'll see where we are after tonight's game.
That is Patrick Waugh, the head coach of the Isles.
It was a decent start for the Islanders. They outshot the Panthers 12-1 in the first period, but didn't score. Fell down 2-0 in the second. Have gotten within 1 here in the third. 12 minutes to go in regulation time.
So if the Islanders can rally, they'd be within 4 points of the Rangers with 2 games in hand. Simon Holmstrom, right wing over the Florida line. Good work by Nate Schmidt. Shouldered him off the puck, and then laid it off on that half wall for Sam Bennett.
And the Islanders did have Bo Horvat going down the middle of the ice, so Schmidt didn't hold off Holmstrom. He has a man wide open in front of Vanacek.
Here, Florida with it in Islander ice. Bennett kicks it out center point. Schmidt's stick broken half on the one-timer, so he will race to the Florida bench and be replaced. Cats do hold the zone. Verhaeghe, the former Bridgeport Sound Tiger, shoots from the right circle. It's blocked. Kicking away the discarded stick is Simon Holmstrom, and then he finds Kyle Palmieri, who got the red line right side, got it in. Vanacek played it up the near boards through Palmieri, but held in at right point now on the backhand by Pierre Engvall. For Palmieri in the right wing corner, Romanov pinching down deep as well as the Islanders activate their D in Florida ice. Panthers trying to slide it all the way to the Islander line where Romanov will grab it and start the other way. So Alex Romanov between the circles in front of his net. 9 minutes into the third, Islanders trailing at 2-1 on the Gatcombe goal, his 4th of the year from D'Angelo and Engvall at 6:29. Engvall gets the Panther blue left side, winds it around far side to near. Hudson Fasching first to pick it up, right corner behind the net. He's going to move it in front for Cizikas, but in his skates and taken away by Nico Sturm. Little alley-oop pass to the Islander line, but Dobson beat the intended target, A.J. Greer, to it.
From a brief moment, looked like Fasching was going to go for a wraparound just like Gatcombe scored a minute ago.
Yeah, I was with you, Greg. I thought he was going to try the same thing, and you know what? I think it was a smart play by Hudson, because you got to think Vanacek's thinking that too, right? So maybe he overcommits to the wraparound, and then he tried to set up Cizikas at the top of the crease, but it went through Casey's skates. So a real smart headsy play by Hudson Fasching, trying to outthink the goaltender, and it just didn't work out. Here's Anders Lee, again, still sitting on 498 points coming in. He will be the 13th player in Islander history to get to 500 when it happens, but you know he'd love to do it on home ice, and even better if he could do it here tonight with the Islanders down a goal right now as we pass the midpoint of the third. Florida again, second period goals by Reinhart and Barkov. Islander a third period red light from the rookie Mark Gatcombe.
It's just the 4th goal for the Islanders, though, counting the last 4 games. Still 10 minutes to go in this one.
Yeah, again, it was the first time all year, Greg, that they were held to 3 goals or less in any 3-game span coming in. So 4-4 would obviously be the first time for that too. So they got to get beyond this 1-goal-a-game mentality each of the last 3 losses. Here's Pajot through the right circle, one-on-one with Mikkola, hits the brakes, lost him for a second, worked it out right point for D'Angelo, center point Romanov, left circle one-timer Palmieri, and Vanacek got a piece. D'Angelo right point the hold, center point Romanov to Tony D at center point now as they crisscross on the blue line. D'Angelo to Romanov, top of the right circle, one-timer, good save down in the butterfly Vanacek. Florida trying to get it out of their own end here, and Barkov will ladle it softly to Islander ice, avoid an icing, and get off on a change. Islanders quickly, the penalty box side breakout, trying to catch Florida on that change, but Palmieri couldn't hold the pass. Lundell for Florida, 3-on-2 now through the neutral zone. Hits Boquist, right wing over the Islander line. Jesper Boquist to the high slot, shoots, and he missed it wide right. Lundell to Lostarinen, right wing corner Islander zone. Good answer here by Florida. Lostarinen taken down on good physical play, but got it to Boquist behind the Islander net. Spins and put it in the paint, but off a skate, and Kyle Palmieri will not get it out. It's held in by Boquist. To Lundell, top of the right circle. He's taken down. No penalty called. Islanders 3-on-2 the other way. Sent in by Simon Holmstrom, left wing corner, but Horvat beaten to it by Seth Jones. And the quick up to Boquist, who's got to be out of gas. Right wing over the Islander line goes Jesper. Now to Bennett at the right dot. He pulls up, finds Schmidt at center point, left point Forsling. Center point Schmidt, the one-timer. And that's wide of the net. Suddenly, Greg, this opens up to a little fire wagon hockey with 8 minutes to go in the third. Islanders down 2-1. Gatcomb taken down at center. No call.
He can't believe it. The fans can't believe it. Should be an icing. No, they wash it out, saying that the Panthers, Bennett got a piece of it. Yeah, the Islanders haven't had a lot of success in the power play.
Siplikov in a breakaway through the right circle. Walks in, shoots, he scores! Oh, Sippy takes that one to the max, and he has tied this game at 2. Max Siplikov, a huge goal here to even it up.
Oh, an excellent bounce pass off the near side boards. Finds Siplikov with some space behind the D, and he's able to open up the 5-hole. Vanacek slide it there and beat him for the game-tying goal. And Mike Riley, welcome back to the lineup. He's the one that makes that perfect pass to lead Vanacek in, or pardon me, Siplikov in. Fakes to open up that 5-hole with a forehand shot, and then tucks it home between the legs of the netminder. 2-2 our score, 7:44 to go in the third period.
And for Max Siplikov, first goal in 27 games. He has not scored since December 21st against the Maple Leafs in Toronto as we get a puck out of play. Brand new game. We'll take a timeout. 2-2 on the island. 7:38 to go in the third. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
The numbers are in. Once again, WRHU is New York's number one non-commercial radio station. Thank you, New York, for your support.
88.7 WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
Daily Pay underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
This broadcast of New York Islanders hockey on WRHU is underwritten in part by UBS Arena. More information about UBS Arena is available at newyorkislanders.com/Belmont.
This is Kyle Palmieri, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, again, the Islanders have tied this game at 2 on Siplikov's 8th of the year. We do believe Mike Riley, again, is going to get the primary assist on that goal. And for Riley, it is his first game back in 4.5 months after, again, having heart surgery. So, Greg, what a story this would be if the Islanders can add to this goal now and try to take their first lead.
So Riley gets the primary assist, and Tony DeAngelo the secondary assist on Siplikov's 8th goal of the season. For Riley, his first point of the year, as he didn't have a point in the first 11 games he played in prior to the injury.
So huge goal for Siplikov. Islanders get 2 in the third after Florida gets 2 in the second. And it's a brand new hockey game with 7:38 to go in the third. And again, a reminder, Edmonton has beaten the Rangers 3-1 at Madison Square Garden. So if the Islanders can find a way to win this one, they'd be 4 points out of the final playoff spot in the East, still held by the Rangers with 2 games in hand on the Blue Shirts. And they do have one more home game still remaining on the Rangers before the year is out. So let's see if the Islanders can, again, continue the momentum here. They've got the crowd on their side. They've scored 2 straight to erase a 2-goal deficit, and now can they take their first lead? Florida wins the center ice faceoff, but they turn it over at center. It's Dobson with speed through the left circle around Jones to the net, shoots, he scores! What a goal from Noah Dobson! He gives the Islanders their first lead of the night! It is 3-2 New York with just under 7.5 to go.
That's the defenseman Dobson faking as if he was just going to dump the puck in, and Seth Jones bought the fake. Didn't realize that Dobson was going to keep possession of the puck, and he just dances right around Jones, takes that puck to the net, and is able to get it by the glove side of Vitek Vanacek, and Anders Lee looked like he got a touch in the neutral zone, so that should be point number 499 in the career of the captain, tying Derek King for 13th in franchise history.
So Dobson scores 17 seconds after Siplikov tied it. Of course, we had the broadcast timeout in between, so that added a little time in real time, but not on the game clock. And the Islanders, in a 17-second span, go from 1 down to 1 up. New York guilty of icing. 3-2 Isles. Let's get the call.
Let's go. His 7th of the season. Scored by number 8, Noah Dobson. Assisted by number 27, Anders Lee. Time of the goal, 12:33.
So there you have it, and Greg was right. Anders Lee now 1 point away from becoming the 13th man in franchise history to hit 500 points.
Yeah, that was a face-off win by the Panthers, but Dobson stepped up, forced the turnover. Anders didn't do much, just a little tiny touch of the puck to continue momentum of it heading towards the offensive blue line, where Dobson had his momentum heading, and that is how he gets the primary and only assist on that goal.
So Dobson's first goal in 10 games, and again, you put it in perspective. Islanders had scored only 3 goals total in the last 3 games. They scored 3 goals in the first 12 and a half plus minutes of the third period here to take their first lead. So Islanders now protecting a 1-goal advantage with 6.5 to go in the third. Florida has the puck in front of their own net. Nate Schmidt spins away from the forecheck of Engvall, works it up the middle now, connects with Losterinen, but it rolled off his stick blade, and Casey Cizikas is going to chip it in the right wing corner and give chase. Finishes his check, decking Mikkola to the ice, and the crowd loves that. Florida does bring it to center, though. Losterinen lobs it right wing corner. Romanov taps it to D'Angelo near side. He tried to get it out, but inadvertently gave it away to Lundell, as he didn't get all of it. Romanov, though, bailed him out. Quickly ahead to Horvat. Left wing over the red, but didn't connect with Fasching. And Florida starts again in their own end on the stick of Seth Jones. So Jones from behind his own net will move it to the far side. Under 6 minutes now remaining in regulation time. Jones takes a return pass with the Islanders buzzing on the forecheck, and then awaits Horvat to back up, and then can move it to Bennett. Left wing over the red, over the Islander blue. Sam Bennett to the half board. Skates it back to the blue line, shielding it away. Leaves it for Jones. He shoots from there, and it's wide right. Palmieri's going to tap it for Pulock, but he turned it over in his own end. Got some help from Horvat, though, and with Simon Holmstrom's help, too, it floats out to center in front of the Islander bench. On the near side as it goes to the penalty box area. Grabbed by Pulock, who backs it up into his own end. Far side for Noah Dobson. Backhands it up the board, connects with Siplikov. He worked it quickly down the middle for Mark Gatcomb. Gatcomb offside at the Florida line. We'll take our final timeout. It's now New York 3 and the Panthers 2. 5:15 to go in regulation time here at UBS Arena. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
New York Islanders hockey is underwritten by the NHL on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
When the Islanders are on the ice, we're on the air. The New York Islanders Radio Network.
Acrisure underwrites a part of this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU Radio Hofstra University.
This is Noah Dobson, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, Mike Riley, in his return to action after missing 4.5 months following heart surgery, has his first point of the season tonight, the primary assist on the tying goal by Max Siplikov. This morning, Riley was asked about not only rejoining the Islanders, but doing it during this playoff push.
Yeah, obviously, we're aware of kind of where we're at, and
just naturally kind of look at the standings and whatnot. But yeah, they were kind of a similar spot a little bit to last year in terms of it's a little bit do or die in a way. But obviously we relished that last year and kind of went on a run there at the end of the year a little bit. So definitely there's belief in the run for sure. So we're obviously going against a great opponent tonight and obviously need to string some together.
That is Mike Riley, and of course, Greg, last year Islanders go 8-0-1 in April. They were the best team in the National Hockey League. Most wins, most points in April, and got themselves back to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And the Islanders going on a run here in this third period, trail 2-0 into the final frame, but Mark Gatko, Matt Sepulkov, and Noah Dobson have scored 3 goals in a 6-minute and 4-second span, and the Islanders have opened up their first lead of the night.
Here's Boquist trying to get it back for Florida. Right wing corner Islander zone for Lundell behind the New York net. Taken away, though, by Tony DeAngelo, and he quickly moves it ahead at center. Islanders find Sepulkov in front of the Florida bench. He tried to fire it in, but whiffed on it. Second effort does get it in deep, and Vanacek will leave it in the near corner of his own end. Rodriguez took a hit, but got it ahead to Lundell. His pass off a skate back to Mikkola, and then he connects with Losterinen, left wing in front of the penalty boxes. Had a cross-ice pass intercepted by Gatcomb, but then second effort put it in deep before he goes off on a change. Romanov to DeAngelo behind the Islander net. Again, the Sepulkov goal from Riley and DeAngelo, the Dobson goal just from Anders Lee, and the Islanders with a 3-2 lead under 4.5 minutes remaining in regulation time. Barkov in Florida ice, skates it to his own blue, too far out in front of Forsling and intercepted at the New York stripe by Pulock. Nice pass to Anders Lee, 1 point away from 500 now as the captain as he rumbles in deep. To Pajot in the right wing corner, JG whacking at it, Lee grabs the rubber, skates into the trapezoid, Anders shields it on the backhand, left wing corner, double team, cut through as he ducked under, nice move by the captain, but the centering feed picked off by Florida, and here they come the other way. Panthers right wing over the Islander line, bring it down the middle, try to send Barkov to the cage, but the feed by Reinhart was out of his reach. Pajot muscles it up the near boards and then floats it to the Florida end where it's knocked down by Balinskis. Quick pass up from Mikkola, left wing over the Islander line. Now finds Reinhart in the left circle. Tried to center it. Romanov laid the body down and then got some help on his hands and knees to get it to the near corner. DeAngelo took down Reinhart. No penalty called. And we play on.
Just an awkward coming together there between Reinhart and DeAngelo. And Reinhart went into the boards hard but got right back up. Goes to the Panthers bench. And by the way, Kulikov is done for the night. He was injured late first period. We did get that officially from the Panthers PR department.
Head coach Paul Maurice down to 5 defensemen the rest of the way. Here's one of them, Nate Schmidt through the left circle to the goal line. Centers it, missed everybody, but connected top of the right circle for a shot and a beautiful glove save by Ilya Sorokin. That off the stick of Carter Verhaeghe. 3:01 to go in regulation. Isles 3, Cats 2.
The Islanders do have 2 multi-goal come-from-behind wins this season, but none in regulation. November 5th against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Islanders are now 3-1 in the third period of that game. Came back here at UBS Arena to win 4-3 in a shootout as Simon Holmstrom and JG Pajot scored in third period to force overtime. And then also at UBS Arena, a 3-2 come-from-behind win against the Carolina Hurricanes on January 25th. That was the night Brock Nelson scored an OT winner.
Again, Florida's won the first 2 games of the season series only 3 times in the first 30 years of Florida Panther hockey. Have the Islanders gone winless in the season series. And look back to that first season of Panthers hockey in 93-94. They went 5-0 against the New York Islanders as an expansion team.
And that was an Island team that made the playoffs that year. Didn't do much there, but did make it.
Did make the Stanley Cup playoffs in their first year, and again, that was the only year the Islanders got no points in the season series against Florida. Here, Holmstrom, a centering pass from the left corner. Palmieri was wide open in front, but he had to get some air under, and it was knee-high, so Palms couldn't connect. Barkov the other way. Behind the Islander net, he drives. The Florida Panthers captain of the half-boards for Bennett takes a look at the scene, moves it out top of the right circle for Seth Jones, who fumbled it, played it down low to Reinhart, right corner. There goes Vanacek to the bench for Florida. Empty net, they'll skate 6-on-5 with 2 minutes to go. Florida down a goal. So 6-on-5 for the Panthers. Barkov with it in the right wing corner of Islander ice. Try to go to Reinhart. Worked it out instead. Center point for Seth Jones. Crowd chants defense, defense. Panthers, Barkov right at the New York net. Straight on, Verhaeghe fakes the shot, takes it. Blocker saves Sorokin. Held in by Florida, though. Again, their net is empty. Islanders can't get possession, though. Barkov, right half board, settles it down. Pressure on the stick blade to the dot. Shoots, Sorokin to save it. Leaked right through the crease. But the Islanders got it to the near side, not out. Oh, New York had a chance to clear it and couldn't. Here, Jones, top of the left circle. Down low now, plays give and go with Sammy Skevich. Center point shot, Reinhardt punched away with a waffle by Sorokin. D'Angelo moves it ahead. Here it's Pajot moving it to the line, not out. Glove down by Barkov. Holds it on the line briefly. Barkov doing some great stick work to Samaskevich on the left half board. Center point Jones to Barkov, top of the right circle. Moved it down low. 1 minute remaining in regulation time. Islanders 3, Florida 2. All Panthers here in the New York end.
This is 90 straight seconds in the offensive zone for Florida.
Bennett, right dot, takes a look straight on Reinhardt, fires, blocked by Pajot. He's going to punch it way wide left of the empty net, and this will be icing against the Islanders, but they will take it. 46.3 seconds remaining in the third. New York 3, Florida 2.
And all 5 Islanders are on the ice right now, just hunched over, trying to catch their breath. The Panthers have their 6 skaters out there that they would want in this situation, but they're pretty tired as well. Not to the extent that the Islanders are, so they're not going to call the timeout and give the Islanders a breath, but when you're looking at Barkov or Hagee, Bennett, Reinhardt, those are guys that they want to have at full strength, and now 6 on 5, 46.3 seconds to go. Huge face-off.
And down on the dot, Florida wins it cleanly, and Seth Jones has it at center point. Takes a look, back skates to left point. Bennett shot right point, save. Rebound loose in the paint. Sorokin trying to cover on his knees, and with some help, the Islanders do get the cover and still have the 1-goal lead.
And Reinhardt had a rebound opportunity, and he flubbed it. I think that, got to take a look at the replay just to see how clear of a chance he had, but I thought live that it was destined to be tied at 3. And did Romanov get a piece of that? Is that why Reinhardt didn't get all that shot? I believe so. As the shot comes in, goes off the right pad of Sorokin and Reinhardt. It was a bouncing puck, so that's why he doesn't get everything on it, really. It was not Romanov getting a piece. It just happened to be a bouncing puck. And now we'll get a timeout called by the Panthers so they can set up the play they want, get finally a rest to the 6 skaters that they want out there. 36 seconds to go. If you're just joining us, the Islanders were down 2-0 to the defending Stanley Cup champions heading into this third period. But 3 goals for the Islanders. Mark Gatko, Max Siplikov, and Noah Dobson have given them the lead. And again, the Islanders trying to win for the first time this season in regulation, went down by multiple goals in the contest.
So again, they went 0-5 against the Panthers in that inaugural season, and then they had an 0-3 in 1 year where they got a point in 07-08 and 0-2 in 1 year in 21-22. So Islanders right now trying to get 2 points, 36 seconds away as the teams break their huddles at their respective benches. So it'll be Barkov against Horvat in the left circle of Islander ice to the right of Ilya Sorokin. The Florida net remains empty. They'll go 6 on 5. Down on the dot, battle for Panthers with the win. Samaskevich at left point, down the wall to the half boards, gets it back from Reinhardt. Samaskevich shoots, knocked down in front. Held in by Bennett, right wing corner with 25 to go. Moves it right in the net, jam shot, saves Sorokin, loose in the crease. Barkov a chance, what a save, Sorokin on his knees, still loose in the crease. Florida banging away, still loose, and finally to the near corner with 12 seconds to go. And now a whistle, as I believe we're going to have a stoppage due to something that happened in the top of the crease. I'm not sure if there's going to be a penalty or not.
Sorokin lost his blocker, and that's the only thing I see, and the referee just trying to protect Sorokin. I mean, that was as wild a scramble as you can imagine, with the number of players digging away at the puck, and that's the only thing I can think. That didn't come off. Sorokin, yeah, he lost his blocker there, so that was the signal.
You know what? If I'm Paul Maurice, Greg, I'm not happy because Florida was in possession of that puck.
Yeah, but I think it's once the scoring chance comes to its conclusion. They let the scoring chance go. Same situation as when the helmet comes off for a goaltender.
Face off again to Sorokin's right. Same 2 combatants. Horvat against Barkov. Down on the dot. Battle for. Islanders lifted out to center toward the empty net. Simon Holmstrom giving it a ride all the way down, and he scores! Homer with the empty net goal! It's a 4-goal third for New York and a 4-2 Islanders lead with 6.3 seconds to go in regulation time.
Now, there probably wasn't going to be enough time for the Panthers to go down the length of the ice anyway, but that puck ended up on edge, and the only reason it actually rolled towards the goal line and in was just the way that puck landed and had enough momentum because it was on edge into the empty net, because Holmstrom did not put a lot on that puck. He just wanted to get it out of the zone. He did that, and then a whole lot more. And the Islanders What a come-from-behind win they're going to have here tonight at UBS Arena.
And Homer ties his season high, 15th of the year. That was his total last year. It's 4-2 Islanders. They adjust the clock to 6.5 seconds remaining. And Vitek Vanacek back in goal to our right. So face-off under the big scoreboard at center. One back by Gadjevich. Florida, though, down 2, will just back-skate it to the buzzer, which sounds, and the New York Islanders come up with one of their biggest wins of the year. They beat the Florida Panthers 4-2 and pull within 4 points of the Rangers for the final wild card spot in the East with 2 games in hand and 16 games remaining in the regular season.
A 4-goal third period for the Islanders after trailing 2-0 into the final frame. Gatcomb, Siplikov, Dobson beat Vitek Vanacek, who didn't give up a goal in his first 5 periods as a member of the Florida Panthers, but gave up 3 in the third, plus the empty netter. A 4-2 final. Just the second time all season the Islanders have had 4 goals in the third period, as it matches the season high, also against the Colorado Avalanche in this building on January 28th.
So one by one, the Islanders greet Ilya Sorokin. They go to the center circle, raise their sticks to salute the crowd of this huge Sunday night contest at UBS Arena, and then they make their way off the ice. But what a night for the Islanders. Again, scoreless after 1, down 2 after 2, a 4-goal third period to lead them to a 4-2 victory as they extend their point streak on home ice to 4 straight games now, 3-0-1 in the last 4 visits, or the last 4 games here on home ice.
It was a strong first period. They just couldn't solve Vanacek. In 5 minutes, that got away from them to start the second, put them in the 2-goal hole, but were able to climb out of it in style in the third.
All right, in just a moment, we will go to PA announcer Alex Anthony. They got a lot of work to do with all 4 goals coming in the third period, but we'll get the 3-star selection and then an on-bench interview with MSG's Shannon Hogan. But, Greg, this is so big combined with Edmonton's win at the Garden over the Rangers to be just 4 points back and have 2 games in hand and a head-to-head with the Rangers here, too. Here's Alex.
The game presented by Pitney Bowes. The third star from the Islanders, number 30, Ilya Sorokin.
Well, unofficial 17 saves for Sorokin in the win.
As we get to hear Paul Cartier on the organ.
Always good.
The second star from the Islanders, number 4, Tony DeAngelo.
Well, Tony D assists on the first 2 goals of the third period by Gatcomb and Siplikov to tie the contest.
And tonight's first star from your New York Islanders, number 8, Noah Dobson.
Well, a highlight reel goal for Dauber that came just 17 seconds after Siplikov had tied it at 2. And for Noah Dobson, it is his first game-winning goal of the season. He'll talk about it with Shannon Hogan, and he gives her the puck on her birthday.
Noah, take us into the third period and the effort and fight that you saw from your team to get this win.
Yeah, a lot of character, a lot of resilience. We were playing a good game, a couple of bad breaks, but obviously shows a lot of character in that third period. It's a huge 2 points for us, and let's keep it rolling.
What do you feel like these last 2 games, getting the 3 points, says about where this team is mentally right now in the thick of it here in March?
Yeah, 2 good teams. Stanley Cup final last year, 3 of 4 points. That's a good start. We can build off that and keep this thing rolling.
All right, Noah, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thanks, Noah.
Oh, even Noah's on top of it, knowing it's Shannon's birthday, and she did get that little puck, although he did flip the autograph one into the seats, presented her with a puck. So happy birthday, Shannon. And I know, Greg, she was hoping for a third period comeback. We talked about it at the second intermission, and she indeed got one of the better ones of the year for New York, a 4-goal third.
And as we said, it's the only time this season the Islanders trailed by multiple goals and 1 in regulation. They had done so on 2 separate occasions previously, but 1 was a shootout win against the Penguins, 1 was an overtime win against the Hurricanes. But the Islanders got the job done within 60 minutes, and it's been a bit of a tough road trip for these Panthers, who in the first 4 games now only have 2 points to show for it, even though it was the most important of their games thus far when they won in Toronto in game number 2 of this 6-game road swing. Tonight, game number 4. But tough back-to-back. They lost in Montreal last night, despite only allowing 15 shots on goal. Tonight, they allowed 34 and fall 4-2.
So, again, the Islanders have their 3-game winless streak come to an end. They were 0-2-1 the last 3 coming in. On home ice, though, it's now points in 4 in a row at 3-0-1, and they finished the season series 1-2 against the defending Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah, it didn't look good going into the third period considering a multi-goal deficit, but the Islanders were able to show their resiliency, get the job done, and we go downstairs to the man that started the comeback, and that is Mark Gatcomb. First of all, congratulations on the win. Just your overall thoughts after the 2 points tonight in the 60-minute effort.
Yeah, thanks. I thought that was a great effort throughout the whole game. A couple bounces didn't go our way, but we kept going, kept pushing, and that's a huge win for us and a huge comeback.
Well, take us through your big goal, Mark, early in the third that finally had you guys break through on Vitek Vanacek.
Yeah, it's kind of just started with a good forecheck, something we always harp on. Great play by Engie to get up to Tony there. Kind of just found me in front, and then credit to Macker picking the guy on the back door. So, yeah, good play all around. All 5 guys out there definitely contributed.
And you're on the ice for Max Siplikov's goal as well. And I know you might not know Mike Riley all that well considering you weren't up when he played those first 11 games of the season, but to see that stretch pass that he makes and Max with the finish, just ice level, your thoughts on that setup and goal?
Yeah, Mike's been awesome. He's definitely a great guy to be around, super friendly, super nice. So it's great to see him rewarded. I thought he played a great game. He's been battling the last couple months, so just to see him out there and have a great game, it's really great.
What has Siplikov added to your line along with Mac in the middle?
Yeah, Sippy's very dynamic. He likes to make a lot of plays. He protects the puck really well down low. He's a big body, so it's fun playing with him. He's dynamic. Like I said, he creates a lot of space. So, yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, you probably had a pretty good view of that interception that Noah Dobson made that led directly to his goal because that was right in front of the bench. So just seeing him make that play and turn the third goal into the tally that gives you the lead and finish off that sequence of 3 consecutive just bring us to the bench.
Yeah, I mean, the boys were fired up. That was a huge goal for us. That was a great play by him, to lower his shoulder, get to a greasy area, and then bury that one. So, yeah, that was huge.
Well, what does it say about your team, though, Mark, where, tonight you beat the Stanley Cup champions 4-2, and Friday night you took the Stanley Cup finalists Oilers to overtime and got a point there as well?
Yeah, I think since I've been here, we've been pretty resilient as a group. That comeback today especially shows a lot of heart. It's just a team effort, and top to bottom, everyone's been playing great, so it's really good. It's good to get rewarded tonight with those 2 points.
Though you guys didn't score in the opening period, really set the tone with allowing just a single shot against nothing allowed on your netminder 5-on-5. What worked out so well in the first period, even if it didn't result in anything on the scoreboard?
Yeah, I think defensively we did pretty good job getting them out of the way. So Sorokin, he didn't see much, but getting in the lanes, blocking shots. I think we just did the right things. Like you said, we weren't rewarded, but throughout the game that kind of came together. So
now Sorokin made one big save in that period. Got a big one, right?
Yeah, he's been our rock back there, so give him credit.
All right, we will. Gats, thanks for joining us, and go enjoy this one with your teammates.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Again, that is Mark Gatcomb, who started the avalanche of a 4-goal third that led to the New York's 4-2 victory tonight over the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Again, your final, the New York Islanders 4, the Florida Panthers 2. Our post-game show is next. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
McDonald's supports this New York Islanders live game broadcast on WRHU, Radio Hofstra University.
XM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin to discuss what Game 7 means to him and what it's like to also lose a Game 7.
Well, when you think about the 2 greatest words in sports, you think about Game 7 for many reasons. Obviously, to get to a Game 7, both teams obviously very evenly matched from the literal sense, the Game 7. You don't have to be a sport fan to understand that something's big at stake and that you will go watch it even if you don't know the teams, you don't know the players, you know the backdrop, because it's the greatest form of reality TV in the world, because there is going to be a winner and a loser. A lot at stake, obviously. But for me personally, it's a lifetime journey to acquire the skill set that's required to be able to perform when the stakes are the highest, under the most scrutinized pressure, when you're expected to perform. And you think about a Game 7 moment, or Game 7, that's when you have to perform. It's a winner or go home situation. And what are the skill sets that are required to do that? Obviously, we've practiced our game and honed our skill set for years and years and years, tens of thousands of hours of honing our skills. But emotionally, mentally, what prepares you to play in those moments and perform when you're expected to? That, I think, is what really defines a Game 7 moment for the players that have excelled in Game 7 moments. And what are those life lessons that we can teach our young boys and girls, and the skill sets required to do that? The breathing, being able to slow your heart down, and your blood pressure goes up, and your decision-making is rash, and concentration varies because of all of it. What allows you to kind of really slow down and use your God-given talent, and then obviously the repetitions through your whole life that you know you can do it. You just got to be able to do it when it matters most. It's like hitting a home run, and like Aaron Boone did, or doing something special at the right moments. And I think the educational part of the docuseries is really fascinating to me there, to help our young boys and girls who will be faced with big decisions in their life. And you don't have to be a sport fan to have a Game 7 moment in life. Everybody's faced with decisions that are going to alter the trajectory of their lives in one way or another there, and we're trying to figure out what those skill sets are.
What does it feel like to lose a Game 7?
Fortunately for me, I never experienced what the Oilers did last year, of going all the way to the end in a championship game and losing in a Game 7. Anytime you get to a Game 7, it's a hard journey to get there. Two teams, evenly matched. It's been a war. It's been a tug-of-war. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's tired. And then to lose that is devastating. I think about my own experience in Game 7, winning 7 of them. The two still hurt to this day. What could I have done different? You always say that you got to lose in order to understand how to win. I do agree with that. I think there are lessons in loss and in failure, both as a team and as an individual. If I had my preference, I would have liked to have learned those lessons while I was winning. But unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. But I look back at it now and just think about how grateful I am for all the lessons in wins and the losses, because it really ends up defining who you are as a person and as a player.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929. Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926. Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929. Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926. Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers, Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on the morning skate for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 to discuss the pressures of Game 7 after having played in 9 Game 7s himself, winning 7 of them, and how you can either thrive under pressure or crumble underneath it.
I almost look at Game 7s, Mark, like I do overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs or overtime in any sporting event where you've got so much pressure on you and every play gets magnified. Could you, during the course of your career, and you don't have to name names, but could you look around the dressing room or could you look on the opposing bench and could you figure out those that wanted to be the hero and those that just wanted to avoid making the mistake? I mean, was that plain for you to see that there were those that wanted the puck on their stick with the game on the line that could thrive under pressure, and then you had the opposite as well?
I felt myself in those moments there defaulting to the more defensive side of the game. And then I played with my right winger, who I won 6 Stanley Cups with, Glenn Anderson. He was the kind of guy that was trying to, really drive hard offensively and take the game and try to score the winning goal. And we're on the same line. Maybe that the difference of us in our mentalities worked perfectly. But everybody's wired different. Everybody's got fear. Failure. The best have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to internalize those feelings, but you can't let them paralyze you. And it's for me, going into a Game 7, I allowed myself to visualize what if we didn't win, leading up to the game, and then slowly as you get closer to the game, you allow yourself to kind of push the negative feelings aside, and you start to fill yourself up with all the great things that are going to happen and what you need to do to execute the game plan, and of course ultimately to seeing yourself holding the trophy. And then as the game starts, all the negative and the positive go away, and then you drill yourself down into just executing the game plan, and you don't think about the what ifs and what should have been or what could have been. You just really kind of play in the moment. And I think trust becomes a massive word when you think about it. Can I trust each one of the players that are going out there to not only to do their part from a strategic standpoint, be in the right position, be in the right places at the right time, but not get undisciplined and take poor penalties at the wrong time because their ego is bruised and someone took advantage of them, then being able to hold all that in check. So there's just so many dynamics to think about for a team in order to overcome all the obstacles to win a championship. And it's fascinating to me. It's one of the reasons I was able to play 26 years, because once you do it, you understand how fun it is, but also how complicated and intricate it is to kind of get not only the team from a physical standpoint to come together, but how a team comes together emotionally, mentally, and the spirituality around a team, and the respect that lives inside that locker room is incredible.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m. Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 929. Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 926. Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 944. Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
Sirius XM has soccer covered end to end. Sirius XM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's Sirius XM FC on channel 157.
Mark Messier is a 6-time Stanley Cup champion. He won 5 with the Edmonton Oilers and 1 with the New York Rangers, and is the only player to captain 2 teams to Stanley Cup championships. In Edmonton, after winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 1984 and 85, it wasn't until 1987 where the team would win their 3rd Stanley Cup championship. Speaking on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Messier joined Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on Sirius XM Channel 91 to talk about what it was like to win that 1987 Stanley Cup Finals series against the Philadelphia Flyers, despite blowing a 3-1 series lead and having to win it in a Game 7.
Mark, let's go back to the 1987 Canada, or not Canada Cup. That was still the Cup.
That was
the
the
1987.
Cup. Yeah.
Yes, that wasn't Game 7, but that was an all-decider as well, as we know. But for Game 7, yeah, that was pretty good stuff. But 87 in the Stanley Cup Final, you're facing Philadelphia. You're up 3-1 in the series. They come back to tie it. Now you've got Game 7. Take us back to your greatest remembrances of, again, almost letting the series slip away and then having that opportunity in Game 7 to come up big, which you guys clearly did.
Well, it just goes to show you that we felt back in 87, we were really at the peak of that team in some ways. Some people think 85 team was the best team ever. 87, I think, was probably the most talented team. I think 85 team had a better overall record. I think it was 16-1 or 16-2 in that playoff year. 87, we got tangled up against Philadelphia, but we felt we're a better team. But sports isn't about who's a better team. It's about it's about the belief system inside the dressing room. And Philadelphia wouldn't quit. Mike Keenan wouldn't allow the young Philadelphia team to quit. They were kind of banged up. They had some injuries, but they were able to extend the series after what we thought probably should have been maybe at least 4 or 5 game series. We lost, I think, the first game, if I remember correctly, and then came back and won 3 in a row, coming home to win the 5th game, only to realize that winning the championship, even after all the experience we had, is not that easy. And then going back to Philadelphia for Game 6, and they trounced us in Philly. Now we find ourselves in a Game 7. And then once you get to a Game 7, anything can happen. You can get a bad break, an unlucky bounce, as we've seen in the past. And so everything's at stake, everything's on the line. And I think luckily for us, we were able to, really kind of rely on our experiences that we had in the past. We felt incredibly confident that if we went out and played our best game and Philadelphia went out and played their best game, our best was going to be good enough. But even with that, there was so much uncertainty. And sure enough, we were able to win our 3rd cup in 4 years, which was quite an incredible feat.
That was Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers, Mark Messier, on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin on Channel 91.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
Former Colorado Avalanche chairman and CEO Charlie Lyons was on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, channel 91, with Steve Kouleas to discuss what it was like successfully keeping Joe Sakic in Colorado in 1997 during a chaotic 7-day time frame.
That all this, Charlie, comes together in 7 days. Like this isn't one moving part. Like if we get the Fox deal done, it's done. If the movie does really well, we'll borrow from the future, even though that wasn't the best thing, as you alluded to, from the movie company. Or the mayor says, yeah, we're going to do that. Like they could have said, it's August. We'll talk after Labor Day. So what's incredible, everybody knew, right? That you got it done that quickly, which is almost, it's hard to do one deal in 5 business days, let alone the 7 you dealt with.
You know, in the movie business, I make this point in the documentary. One of the things that keeps an audience engaged is if the clock is ticking. You know, find the person that's been kidnapped, disable the bomb, stop the terrorist, get to the stage on time so you can get up and do your stand-up comedy when the audience is waiting. The ticking clock makes people realize we don't have time to screw around. We got to fix this and do it right now. So that was, in many ways, as miserable it was for, and particularly with my team, because I had a great team, you know, and Liberty and Fox and the mayor and at City Hall, and we announced the arena deal, Fox and Liberty. And we were coordinated. It was choreographed. And then I was a speechwriter when I was a kid. And I had the blessing to do some work for the governor of New York when he was vice president, Nelson Rockefeller. And he had that famous picture where he was being heckled and he offered his opinion of that. And that picture of him flipping the bird was, I figured, a nice gift to send Dave Checketts, who was a good friend of mine, by the way.
I love it. I never knew that. I love it.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
Former owner of the Colorado Avalanche, Charlie Lyons, had 7 days to figure out how to keep Joe Sakic from joining the New York Rangers back in '97, and he stopped by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio with Steve Koulias to talk about how a little film called Air Force One helped him feel more confident in the face of this chaos and keep Sakic.
Okay. Coincident with that, we were releasing Air Force One. I had another company, Beacon Communications, run by two terrific film producers, Armin Bernstein and Mark Abraham. And we had decided to make a big movie. There's no guarantee how those things work out, but it was, everything came together. Wolfgang Peterson, Harrison Ford, terrific script by Andrew Marlowe. And it was pure joy. And it came out and it was one of the most successful movies of all time, leading R-rated release in history. So you're feeling kind of good about things. And what that did was it created some confidence when you get cold-cocked like this. A really successful organization, Jim Cronin, Art Aaron, Tim Romani, who built Comiskey Park, to sort of huddle and say, okay, what do we do with this? Do we want 5 draft picks? What are we going to do without Joe? Well, that was an idiot test, right? What are you going to do without Joe? You're going to end up in the toilet. And Joe was, somebody that Pierre saw as a potential successor for him when he was no longer interested in being the president of the team. And so there was so much at stake. In essence, what you do, you bang around like a pinball for about 3 days trying to figure out where the restroom is. But then you get your act together and you say, okay, well, let's not waste this crisis. What would we need to do to put ourselves, the company, in the best position to feel smart about matching this offer? And the answer was pretty simple. You're not going to take money from the film company and pay a professional athlete, say, thanks for, you've grown up, Beacon, you've done a great job, and as a prize, we're going to take all your money away and play a hockey player. That wouldn't happen. But what that did is it allowed me to pick up the phone and call the mayor and say, hey, Wellington, look, let's finish the arena deal, because in order to sell to all of our free agents a vision about what Denver sports and Colorado sports can be, we should be in a state-of-the-art venue. And we've got, all the pieces in place to do that. Let's finish that deal. That'll send a message. And these things we're haggling over, I need them to pay Joe Sakic and keep the team together. We've got to be able to put a respectable product on the ice. Number two, great corporate partner, Liberty Media. They're legendary in the media business. And to reach out to them and say, look, now we have the arena. We've got these two teams and things are relatively stable. How would you like to invest in a small piece? And not coincidentally, the exact number that we need to match this offer. So I'm padding, our resources. And then the final piece, which was the one we were pretty confident we could get done. We didn't know if we could get any of it done, but we were confident we might get this last one done, is that Fox wanted to re-up with the Avalanche and the Nuggets. So to cement them for a long period of time and maybe recalibrate the rights payment so we got more up front, again, improving, that gave us the strength to then turn around and on day 7 and say, oops, sorry, you stank.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM, Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is Sirius XM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. Sirius XM NBA Radio. Sirius XM 86.
In the summer of 1997, the New York Rangers tried to sign away Joe Sakic from the Colorado Avalanche, and owner of the Avs at that time, Charlie Lyons, had 7 days to figure out how to keep Sakic. Stopping by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91, Lyons was on to talk with Steve Kouleas from the Power Play about his initial reaction to the news of New York offering Sakic $15 million up front in their deal.
I remember the summer of 1997. The Rangers have offer-sheeted Joe Sakic. It's a 3-year deal, $21 million, $15 million up front. I remember that part. Joining us now is Charlie Lyons, the Avs CEO. The big honcho at the time joins me on the Power Play. So where were you, Charlie, when you first heard the news? Did you fall off your chair?
Well, I didn't fall off my chair, but I left my heart in San Francisco. The phone rang. It was Mark Kisla, who terrific journalist that was always sort of ahead of stories. And he said, "Hey, what do you think about the offer sheet for Joe Sakic for $21 million with 15 up front? How you doing?" Your mind goes to, oh, he's obviously kidding. He wants something else, but he wasn't kidding. And so, it's a punch. I was getting ready to go on vacation, so that's the right time to slam somebody. And that's what it was. So I was a neighbor, my dear friend Pierre Lacroix, collaborator, lived across the cul-de-sac. So we met at the center of the cul-de-sac, and he just gave me this look like, wow, who'd have thunk? And then, what are you going to do? What's your plan, big guy? Because that's a lot of money. 30 years ago, that kind of contract was destabilizing, to say the least. And also, Dave Checkett has done his homework, right? That they had been smart enough to, because we were publicly traded and we were a young company, he looked at the balance sheet and said, look how much money they have in the bank, so we offer $1 more. It's going to knock their company on their ear. They're going to have to take 5 picks. So, given that he had Richter and he had, the greatest player of all time, Wayne Gretzky, and by the way, Joe Sakic's idol, that was going to be a powerful team. And having just lost Messier, he needed to do something. And so he did the right thing. He said, what the heck? There's a chance they aren't going to be able to pull it off. And at least I'm making an effort. And so I felt pretty beat up, candidly.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930. 7:30 p.m., New York Islanders face the Florida Panthers. Islanders on Sirius 209, XM 220, and Internet 937. Panthers on Internet 931. 8 p.m., Vancouver Canucks host the Utah Hockey Club. Canucks on Sirius 210, XM 221, and Internet 948. Utah on Internet 947. 9 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Winnipeg Jets. Kraken on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 943. Jets on Internet 951. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, March the 16th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1 p.m., Detroit Red Wings face the Vegas Golden Knights. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 929, Knights on Internet 949. 3:30 p.m., Colorado Avalanche face the Dallas Stars. Avs on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 926, Stars on Internet 928. 6 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Anaheim Ducks. Blues on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 944, Ducks on Internet 920. 7 p.m., New York Rangers face the Edmonton Oilers. Rangers on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 938. Oilers on Internet 930.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Mark Messier is a 6-time Stanley Cup champion. He won 5 with the Edmonton Oilers and 1 with the New York Rangers, and is the only player to captain 2 teams to Stanley Cup championships. In Edmonton, after winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 1984 and 85, it wasn't until 1987 where the team would win their third Stanley Cup championship. Speaking on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Messier joined Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on Sirius XM Channel 91 to talk about what it was like to win that 1987 Stanley Cup Finals series against the Philadelphia Flyers, despite blowing a 3-1 series lead and having to win it in a Game 7.
Mark, let's go back to the 1987 Canada, or not Canada Cup. That was still to come.
That was
but
the
1987,
yes.
That wasn't Game 7, but that was an all-decider as well, as we know. But for Game 7... Yeah, that was pretty good stuff. But 87 in the Stanley Cup final, you're facing Philadelphia. You're up 3-1 in the series. They come back to tie it. Now you've got Game 7. Take us back to your greatest remembrances of, again, almost letting the series slip away and then having that opportunity in Game 7 to come up big, which you guys clearly did.
Well, it just goes to show you that we felt back in 87, we were really at the peak of that team in some ways. Some people think 85 team was the best team ever. 87, I think, was probably the most talented team. I think 85 team had a better overall record. I think it was 16-1 or 16-2 in that playoff year, 87. We got tangled up against Philadelphia, but we felt we're a better team. But sports isn't about who's a better team. It's about it's about the belief system inside the dressing room. And Philadelphia wouldn't quit. Mike Keenan wouldn't allow the young Philadelphia team to quit. They were kind of banged up. They had some injuries, but they were able to extend the series after what we thought probably should have been maybe at least 4 or 5 game series. We lost, I think, the first game, if I remember correctly.